Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
Ryan Brown here for the next round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle Eight each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle Eight, presented by MyBookie.ag, code Next Round. From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, CoverCrimson.com and TheBarnAuburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or TheBarnAuburn.com. Sign up today.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com. Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1? Find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2? Stream it now. Miss Hour 3? Download it for later. Miss Hour 4? Well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts. Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
From the creators of The Next Round comes two new sites, CoverCrimson.com and TheBarnAuburn.com. Two team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or TheBarnAuburn.com. Sign up today. You can't wait for college football talk every Monday, so we don't make you wait. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. You can catch ESPN's Tom Luganbill with Jim Dunaway on Monday Morning Live at 7 a.m. I'm with Brandon Marcello on the Middle 8 at 8 after the Next Round. Hear from Alabama coach Kalen DeBoer and Auburn coach Hugh Freeze. After the coaches talk, Fox Sports analyst Brock Heward joins Lance Taylor for Unlocked at 1 o'clock. All college football, all day Monday, anywhere you get the Next Round.
Happy football season. At the Next Round, we strive to make our loyal listeners feel like they're a part of the action all season long. My name is Emily Grace McWhorter, and I do that by bringing you along for any given Saturday in Auburn or Tuscaloosa. From pregame warm-ups, touchdowns that make you feel a part of the play, and everything in between, our goal is to make you feel like you're inside Bryant-Denny or Jordan-Hare. Follow along on our social media at Next Round Live on Instagram, X, and Facebook. Also, check out thebarnauburn.com and covercrimson.com while you're at it. Here's to fall Saturdays.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown, Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Tuesday show now, Upset Alert Tuesday. A couple of winners last week for a couple of folks. I don't know about you guys. I've really enjoyed using the game day rules because the standings really, really close when you see them a little bit later on. If Forrester has them, we can pull them up now, but
close on game day, too, except for McAfee. Like, he's at 6 points, and I think Reese is at 48.
yeah.
I mean, I don't know what McAfee is doing.
Well, we're pretty tight here. I think a couple of people got to 4 and 4. Here we are now. 34.5, 34, 33, 28. Pretty close. Upset alert. We'll make our picks coming up at 10:30.
I can take the lead with mine. I got 12 points on the line this week, Jimmy D.
Well, you can't take the lead.
I can, too.
If I hit mine.
Well, I'm not counting on you hitting yours.
Yeah.
That's how I'm going to take the lead.
I think Lance you gone 2 winners in a row on Upset Alert?
Locktober?
I don't think so.
2 of 3. You got to cover last week. I think
Yeah, I
I
did.
think covered last 2 weeks.
Well, I should have gotten an outright win with Oklahoma State, and that would have really bounced me up.
Oh, boy, what were you
bounced
laying
up.
right there?
Yeah.
I mean, what are
I
you
was catching 10.5.
10.5?
No, 9.5. 9.5. So what would that have been? 15 points?
Yeah, 15 points. Big in this game.
10:30 Central Time, about 90 minutes from now, we'll jump in to our Upset Alert. Coming up on the show, Payton Thorne next segment, Auburn quarterback, and Clay Travis joins us off the Tennessee win to start hour number 2 of the show. At some point, Clay today will, I guess, traditionally, this is where he sends out the Tennessee car slightly ahead of the Alabama car. Last time he did that,
The Alabama car caught and passed?
Alabama passed.
Oh,
Again,
okay.
Tennessee lost some stuff. So we'll get to all that coming up, and what Alabama's assistant coaches had to say yesterday about a couple of controversial things that went on the field that a lot of people are not talking about. Before we get into football, off the beaten path for a lot of you, the NBA season starts tonight in basketball. Back-to-back nights with a couple of doubleheaders on TV and just some unique things that you get to see. If I asked you, Lance is going to know this. So, Brown, top 3 betting favorites to win the NBA championship this year.
Okay, I should alert you of this fact before I answer this question.
Okay, you've noticed something? You looked at something?
No. You know how I realized the NBA season tips tonight?
Because of promos on TV?
Halftime last night, SVP interviewed Steph Curry, and he was like, the NBA tips tomorrow. And I was like, holy crap, the NBA tips tomorrow.
Steph Curry's still playing.
Steph's still playing.
I think that's where I noticed
middling team, Golden State, by the way.
Yeah. I was not going to put them in my top 3.
Who won the championship last year? Yeah.
You know this.
I had to think, too.
The NBA champion. Like, you're asking me the champion of the NBA last year? Is that what you're asking me?
Traditional game show.
Yeah.
The clock's at 15 seconds.
The NBA champion last year.
You want a hint?
No. I remember seeing the parade.
Yeah.
Can I
The
tell him the
Boston
one
Celtics.
team? Very good.
Thank you.
Boston
The
Celtics.
one team that he's not going to get in the top 3.
I don't think he'll get either one.
Okay, Boston Celtics.
Betting favorites.
Boston
Boston's
Celtics.
your favorite. You're not
Yeah.
getting either one.
The next 2
of
I
the
will
other
not
two.
get?
You will not get either one.
You mean like because I had to think that long to name last year's champion? I'm not going to get these next 2.
You're not going to get the other 2. Come on, man. Be fast.
Be fast.
Yeah. We got football to talk
The
about.
Portland Trailblazers.
That is off the beaten path. I mean, you need to go down that neighborhood, but yes, no, that's not one.
Who is it?
Give me one. It's the second betting favorite is the Oklahoma City Thunder.
Thunder.
I almost said that. I know that's easy for me to say, but I swear I almost said the
and
Thunder.
then Denver or Minnesota, right?
Nope, the New York Knicks.
The Knickerbockers?
Third betting favorite.
Yeah.
They traded away a bunch of players I like, Julius Randle, and now they've got Karl Anthony Towns wearing a Knicks uniform, which means what? He'll get hurt tonight against Boston.
Hey, maybe this is the year of New York. I think the WNBA, I think their team won it. I think it was the first basketball team in New York to win it forever.
Boy, that's sad.
You've got the Yankees starting up the World Series.
How about them Jets and Giants?
Jets and Giants got a problem.
that ain't
We've
gonna
got
work,
some
okay.
stuff to do. All right, we'll jump into our football in just a second.
And by the way, real quick, did you see what the NHL's doing tonight?
No.
I think this is really cool. All 32 teams. This is like they're doing this to the NBA because all 32 teams are playing tonight, and they're dropping the puck 15 minutes apart for every game.
So you're going to constantly have games finishing. Is the way
and they're just going to do a big whip around for the NHL.
So they're envisioning like we're going to have a game finishing every 5, 10, 15 minutes. That's interesting.
Now, you remember back in our days together, I said, because I don't watch NBA regular season, but I do find it interesting if I'm flipping around, if it's a close game. Fourth quarters, you see so many double-digit leads in the NBA, but when it gets to the fourth quarter, sometimes it's close.
Everybody makes a run. Just about,
I always said that's the way the primetime TV package should be, is you start a game, and then it's nothing but fourth quarters through the whole primetime window.
Well, I mean,
and that's the only thing you show is fourth quarters. All right, that's the winner. That's the winner there in Denver. Let's go to the fourth quarter in Los Angeles.
The NFL is the model. And, you say we've got that noon kickoff. If you'll notice, not every game kicks at noon, right?
That's right.
And there's a reason not every game kicks at noon. Some of them are noon. Some of them are 12:02, 12:05. And then the late window does the same thing. That way you got finish. Your game
of the week's like at 3:20.
Yeah. And then you've constantly got games going to the end. And that way, if you're watching Red Zone, it's fantastic. That last hour of Red Zone is terrific. But even if you're not, that's why your game on CBS ends of like, okay, Dolphins have lost to the Colts. We're going to send you out to the Ravens and Chiefs going down to the end right there. I mean, you constantly have a game going final.
That's why I like that we had two games last night outside of the fact that I couldn't watch the second one.
How could you not watch the second one?
I text Brown. I'm like, how in the hell do I get – I thought Disney was part of ESPN+.
You got to have the bundle, Disney, Hulu,
and ESPN+.
I've got Disney and Hulu.
But you got to bundle them together.
I bet you if you don't pay – there's no way you don't have it bundled.
I wouldn't think. I don't know. I couldn't find it. Pain in the ass.
You have to go through Hulu
Pain in the
to get
ass.
it. If you've got Hulu, all you had to do is click on sports, and it was right there.
I should have told you that. That's my bad.
Still got a winner with the Cardinals.
Okay, that's all you wanted was the winner. You didn't have to watch it.
We're jumping to football. We'll go NFL first since they brought it up. Our show being brought to you by our friends at the Magic City Classic. That contest coming up this weekend is part of the worksheet you have over here, 2:30 ESPN. If you can't make it into Legion Field, but tickets available.
They are absolutely available, Jimmy D. You still get $25 general admission, $35 reserve seating at MagicCityClassic.com. Game is great. Don't miss the bands either. That's the show right there. The Mighty Marching Hornets, the Marching Maroon and White at the half. You could see all of that. MagicCityClassic.com, 83rd edition, the oldest and best HBCU classic in the entire country, right there at the Magic City Classic.
And our friends at Milo's with the Milo's Burger Bar.
Yeah, Milo's has got something going on for you guys. Can you name something better than a Milo's Burger? How about 24 free Milo's burgers?
What?
Milo's giving away catered meal for up to 24 guests. That's right, 24 of your closest friends, coworkers, or family could be chowing down on Milo's favorites. And the best part, it's free for your chance to win. Head to miloshamburgers.com/catering-contest and enter today. That is miloshamburgers.com/catering-contest. So whether you're feeding a few or a whole crew, Milo's has got you covered. Don't wait. Enter now, and maybe they'll be serving you and 23 of your lucky friends soon. Stay saucy.
Okay, what upset me yesterday about Alabama football coming up a little bit later on in this segment, but last night you made the pirate sound. My Buccaneers loved this team. We were having a really good year. I expected to lose last night. That didn't surprise me. But when you lose your franchise's top two wide receivers, one definitely done for the year in Godwin, and we'll see what Mike Evans is, the whole season changes right there in one night. Godwin in the game late in what seemed like an impossible situation to come back and win that game. But the NFL doesn't substitute like college. I always have to come to terms with that, but it seems really weird to have Chris Godwin in the game when basically you're scrambling and you still got to have two more touchdowns you can't even convert on two more onside kicks. I think there's a rule you only have a limited number of onside kicks.
Keep in mind, these guys have bonuses in their contract too. So that's one reason you don't substitute is because Chris Godwin may have a 1,000-yard receiving bonus.
Yeah. He'd rather have his ankle to the
Well, he had, but I mean, tell him that when he's perfectly healthy at the end of the year and he misses by 8 yards on another $1 million or something like that.
Yeah.
Look, and we've seen some crazy comebacks in the NFL. I mean, you guys were up 10-0. You give up 34 unanswered. You score 21 in the fourth quarter. I thought when Mike Evans went down and held the hamstring, I thought he just completely ripped his hamstring apart.
Did too.
Did that look that bad to you?
Well, he's a really tough dude. It didn't look bad at all, but to see the pain that he was in, holding it, rolling around, because he is a dude that he's played through a lot of injury.
Yeah, to his point, Mike Evans probably shouldn't have been out there playing. But as they said in the broadcast, and if you follow the Buccaneers, he's a warrior. He likes to go out and play. There are other players in the league who wouldn't play with Mike Evans' injury. And he went out there and he caught his 100th career touchdown pass, joining a really special group of wide receivers. instant Hall of Famer whenever he retires. And you hope last night didn't push him another step toward that. But then he drops the ball, and as he's dropping the ball, I thought, like LT did, the thing had ripped off, and he was going to be done for the season. We still don't know, what his prognosis is, but a dislocated ankle for Chris Godwin.
That's bad.
And
that sounds awful.
You'll find out today if you got any ligament damage to go with that. So just a pretty bad night for the Buccaneers. You went from 4-2. I expect them to lose a game 4-3, but then you're sort of healthy going in with a home game against the Falcons for the division lead next week. And now you don't know what you can do. You got Sterling Shepard and a bunch of people you never heard of running out there, young receivers who I like a lot.
The good news is you're still in the NFC South.
Yeah.
And I was talking to Forrester about his Falcons yesterday. Their defense is absolute garbage. And he brought up the fact that, Bijan, you look and he has 100 yards every game, but they can't run the football in certain situations when they have to run the football. And, Carolina's done, New Orleans is done. So, by all that, Tampa's still got a shot. I said this, I was doing a hit with our buddy Ian Fitzsimmons last night, and I was like, Baltimore's best team in the NFL before the game. And he was like, whoa. I don't think that's really saying much. They've won 5 consecutive games.
Hang on, Coach.
Derrick Henry is running the football, and the way they force takeaways.
And their quarterback's playing MVP level.
And they're well coached because they saved Derrick Henry until later in the game. They don't wear him out early on.
They were even questioning it early. Like, Aikman is like, man, we have not seen a lot of Derrick Henry. This is odd.
Yep.
And they even asked, I think, Harbaugh about it going to the locker room, and he just kind of blew it off. But you're right. They use him as a closer. I mean, he's basically a baseball closer.
It is crazy watching him at full speed. And I know after the game they were talking to Lamar. They were like, did you realize that we clocked Derrick Henry at 22 miles an hour?
That's insanity.
I mean, because he is a legit 250 pounds.
Oh, he's a load.
Well, Troy told a story during the broadcast that when he got to camp, Lamar was joking with him, like, I didn't know you were fast. And he was like, you didn't know I was fast? And he said, I knew you were big and physical. I didn't know you were fast. They were talking, Lamar was joking with him, but I didn't know you were this fast.
But he's got that big loping stride.
Yeah.
Like he's so big, Lance.
Like a train.
And he's but the reason you don't realize he's so fast is because his stride is covering so much. Yeah. Like, I don't know how long his stride is, but it looks like his stride's covering 8 yards is what it looks like.
Got to be the worst person to tackle in the last 20-plus years.
Yeah. Oh, I would agree completely.
When you watch as much college football as I do, and then you watch a game involving the Ravens, you see how much faster the NFL game is. Mm-hmm. The fake handoffs, the moving parts to an offense, and Lamar Jackson, when it's clicking, does it about as good as anybody else, because that's pretty good Bucs defense they torched last night. 5 touchdowns and only 5 incompletions for Lamar Jackson. That's the 4th time he's done that in NFL history. 5 touchdowns with 5 or less incompletions. And
they didn't even play that well. They give up 31 points. I know a lot of those were garbage time. But you still give up 11 of 17 on 3rd downs.
Yeah, Alabama's Marlon Humphrey with a couple of key interceptions early on that sort of flipped the script in the game. Arizona and James Conner, 17-15. I know you weren't watching it, LT, and you watch a lot more NFL than I do, but it was the first Cardinal game I'd watched this year, and I was like, I don't know who any of these guys are. And then it was like, there's Marvin Harrison Jr.
Yeah.
Okay, that's where he is now. And then there's a good-looking tight end, man. He made a big play, and I was like...
Yeah, Trey McBride, man, he is legit.
Like, that guy's a player. I was like, what's his name? McBride. Okay. All right. Oh, that little guy, quarterback, still playing football.
I know him.
Look at that little guy. The
Yeah.
tight end award, is it the John Mackey?
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, McBride won that out of Colorado State.
But that is just a bunch of nobodies playing the Chargers last night in a very boring football game.
Do you know that was the first game Justin Herbert has thrown for over 200 yards?
Yeah.
Wait.
First over 200?
Over 200.
This year?
Wow.
Yeah, because if you check the player props, last night his player prop, his total yardage, I think, was 194.5.
Yeah. Oh, I know.
That's his first 200-plus yard passing game of the year.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah.
I took the over.
You're on the wrong side of that?
You know, I was the right side, but I was like, 194. I mean, what are we doing?
This guy hits 300 yards every week.
I didn't know they were wearing Michigan throwbacks every week. By the way, have you seen the Michigan quarterback numbers?
Oh, I mean, Jack Tuttle ain't the answer either.
I can pull them up for you.
They don't have
I
a
don't think you
quarterback
need
on their
to.
roster.
Total touchdowns for the season for all quarterbacks is 3.
Yeah. You know what's crazy is you might have an Indiana quarterback, an Army quarterback. I don't know if I can go any deeper than that could be Heisman finalist. And now Michigan can't even find a quarterback that can complete a pass.
So they're averaging, their quarterbacks combined are averaging 128.3 yards per game. Yep. They've combined for 6 passing touchdowns and 9 interceptions.
6 passing touchdowns, 9 interceptions.
They've combined for a 61% completion percentage. They are not over 1,000 yards passing as of yet, and we are in week 8. They have played a combined 7 games. Obviously, they're only 7 games, and they're not over 1,000 yards passing.
Wow.
That is really difficult to do in today's college football.
Well, I mean, what is Auburn at right now? They're at 1,800 yards. But if you took
so they're
away
1,000 yards behind Auburn.
I just wonder really if you took away Alabama, A&M, and New Mexico, what those numbers would look like.
And people blame this on Harbaugh. They're like, well, the reason they don't have a quarterback is Harbaugh was going to the NFL for 2 years. And I'm like, don't know if you've noticed, but the guy that was the offensive coordinator is now the head coach.
That's right.
Where was he? Was he not recruiting quarterback?
Yeah. And he had time to get somebody in the portal.
Yeah.
Even though they missed a little bit of a portal window. Okay, what bothered me about yesterday's news conferences in Tuscaloosa and news conferences, that means the coordinator's still talking over there. After Brownie tells us about our friends at A+.
A+ Tile Home Remodeling, that is who redid the master bath in the Brown home, the Taylor home, the kitchen in Lance's home. He's about to be back in my home laying some hardwoods upstairs in my house, so we trust Brad Bell, and he's done great work for us. When it came time to redo the master bath in my house, my wife scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. She talked to certain contractors, people that had used certain contractors. She read reviews. She did her homework. She picked Brad Bell, and I'm glad she did. He did great work. Let me tell you what he specializes in for you. Master bath, kitchen, and master bedroom closets. That's not to say that's all he does, but it's what he specializes in. It's what you're going to make your money back on when you go to sell your house. It's what you're going to enjoy while you own your house. Call Brad now, 205-422-1758. That is 205-422-1758. Brad Bell, A+ Tile Home Remodeling.
And our friends at Storm Restoration Roofing. Greg from Pell City never upsets you, man. He'll get on that roof and give you a free quote, free evaluation. All you have to do is call his number, 205-542-3531. Greg from Pell City on Facebook. He takes care of storm damage, roof replacements, insurance, roofing claims, restorations, even does inspections for you if you're selling or buying a house there. A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau. He is Central Alabama's most trusted name. Family owned for over 20 years. When the unexpected happens, go to Storm Restoration Roofing. Call him up, 205-542-3531. Family owned, family operated. Go check him out, Storm Restoration Roofing, Greg from Pell City. Everybody's been talking about it since Saturday night. When
I never saw it, by the way.
The 2 wide receivers that were jumping on the play, you never saw it?
They showed, I didn't see it in live action because I think they zoomed right in knowing it was a quarterback sneak. But then they show a down-the-line replay to see if Milroe got the first down. And you can clearly see it there because they step back and do like a fadeaway.
Yeah, I'm so confused when I heard it. People talking about it, I'm like, what do you...
it's a weird look.
Yeah.
Like, have you ever seen that before?
I have not. No, and I don't know what it benefits.
And by the way, they needed a push, maybe another tight end or a fullback. They needed a little push.
Which now, again, and that brings another defender in the box there. You're right. They did need probably a little bit more of a push. And everybody's like, well, if they're just going to stand out there and shoot free throws or fadeaways, there needs to be a tight end in the game. I'm like, well, they're actually bringing the defender out of the box by being over there. So
that
you've
is
at least got to
true.
allow for that.
That is true. But you got to have an answer. Got to have an answer.
Yep.
Got to have an answer. So here's the question. Here's Nick Sheridan, the offensive coordinator. And listen, I don't care if it's just public relations. I don't care if you're just playing a game with the fan base and the media that you act like you're mad about this kind of stuff, or that you're going to change it or anything like that. But this is the answer you get when you talk about 2 guys shooting jump shots while you're trying to push one forward on the road in the Southeastern Conference.
On Jalen's 4th down sneak towards the end of the first half, the TV broadcast showed Ryan and Jeremy pretending to shoot a basketball on the outside of the field. Is that part of the design of the play or just something spontaneous?
Yeah, you're talking about the quarterback sneak. Yeah, there's nothing on the field that we're not coaching. So that's how I answer that.
That's a weird answer.
That's a weird answer.
That is a weird answer.
So they knew when they were going out there to run a quarterback sneak that they were going to be doing fadeaways?
Or I guess he could be saying, we saw that too. There's nothing on the field. We're not coaching. Now we're coaching them up.
Do you think Alabama fans would have appreciated if he said, look, we saw that dumb shit. It will never happen again.
I do.
Yep. No. At some point, listen, you can own, what's the most expensive car in the world?
McLaren. I don't know.
Okay, Bugatti.
Yeah,
if I buy a
Bugatti.
Bugatti or a McLaren,
Tyler can tell you.
yeah. But if I own a Bugatti, it doesn't have to be the most expensive. These are expensive enough for my point. If I roll a Bugatti or McLaren into my driveway, and I throw a Leonard Skinner sticker on the bumper sticker and a Salt Life sticker and a 30A sticker on my windshield, it's still a Bugatti or McLaren, but it doesn't look the same, right?
That's right. Me and Bo went to lunch yesterday, and there was this really, really nice Range Rover, and on the back it was like, it said, "The world is not flat."
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
And I'm like, you killed your car by putting one bumper sticker on there.
My point being is you've taken over one of the more finest rides in college football. You don't have to stick a sticker on it, a bumper sticker on it or a decal in the window and have people doing jump shots and things like that. Now, if that wasn't coached, then, you probably would like a little bit more of an answer there on how we're going to fix that.
It was an interesting answer.
That's some of the stuff we need to cut out and start getting back to the basics of winning football games.
Yeah.
If we're winning and dominating and some of that stuff happens, I can swallow it a little bit better.
I don't think
but
Alabama
if we're losing,
fans
I
would
can't
care.
do it.
Yeah. And look, I'll tell you, when does it get to a point where Kalen DeBoer maybe is like, I don't know if I want Nick Sheridan talking?
You've set the precedent now. I just don't think this is one of those that if Alabama's winning, you know what everybody's saying? And we're doing the same thing.
Oh, look how much fun it is,
That's right.
man.
That's right. So this is one of those things that gets magnified when you lose a football game. That had no impact on the outcome of the play. None whatsoever.
It did
It's
not.
got no impact on the outcome of the play.
It does not.
It just looks ridiculous.
Well, I mean, okay, it may look bad, but it had no impact on the outcome of the play.
And my Leonard Skinner sticker does not impact my Bugatti.
That's like
Did I
when
say it
you,
right?
Yeah, Bugatti.
Okay.
I'm not sure you said Leonard Skinner right. It's just like when you were in the NFL, and I think this is the rule in college too, when they put someone not the quarterback under center or behind the center, and the quarterback splits out wide. If he just stands there, you can't block him. That's the rule in the NFL. And everybody's like, look, the quarterback just standing there, so lazy. No, he's doing that because A, he's out of the play, and B, you can't block him if he just stands there. Now, if he engages, the DB can put him to the ground.
Light him up.
That's right. It's just a rule in the NFL. But it doesn't impact the play one way or the other. He's just trying to get the defender as far away from the action as he can. Yeah. And that's what Ryan Williams and Jeremy Bernard are doing. Now, why they're acting like they're shooting a fadeaway jumper, I don't know. They're just having fun, I guess.
It's orchestrated.
And it is orchestrated. They're having fun. Their kids playing a game, and it appears Nick Sheridan's cool with it. And it appears Kalen DeBoer's cool with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's getting magnified because, A, Jalen Milroe did not pick up that first down, if memory serves.
Yeah.
And B, they lost the game.
They lost the game.
That's the big thing.
Yeah, they lost the game.
No, that's the one he picked up, right? And no, he did pick that one up.
Yeah, but it was close.
No,
it was
well,
close.
it was. I don't think he got it. Yeah. And
but
they were talking about reviewing it. And it was just a mass of humanity.
But you're right. You bring it in, and it's another man in the box. If you got another tight end there, all that stuff. All that stuff is true.
Like, I just think there's enough to be concerned about in the actual play of the game than for fans to worry about Kalen DeBoer wearing a T-shirt and two receivers not even in a play practicing a jump shot.
The T-shirt is an asinine discussion.
Well, it is an asinine
but these are things that we knew would happen, just like the music playing and more, relaxed atmosphere inside of that building. I heard this morning Mike Greenberg asked Feinbaum, is Kalen DeBoer on a hot seat?
Oh, God.
No, that's
dumbest.
No, well, and he said, look, he's not. He said, but just the simple fact that you've asked this and people might perk up to listen to the answer shows you all you need to know what's going on in Tuscaloosa. By the way, do y'all know what his buyout is?
Oh,
I would imagine $100 million.
Is it a guaranteed contract?
Yeah.
Okay, then it's a lot because he's making $10 million a year, so it's probably an $80 million.
I think it's $70 million right now.
Well, I mean,
that's a buy. That's a steal for some schools. Texas A&M.
Again, I mean, that's an asinine question to ask somebody if Kalen DeBoer's on the hot seat.
But back to your point yesterday, because you talked about them being poorly coached several times.
Yeah,
and you were talking about discipline.
I am
undisciplined football team. That's the kind of stuff that trickles into undisciplined football teams
because guys are pretending to do a jump shot.
Yeah, if that wasn't coached up, they're out there doing that. They're laughing. They're having a good time. You saw that on the sidelines in the Vandy loss when things weren't going well. Guys laughing, having a good time on the sidelines. That leaks into the perception that you're an undisciplined team, and it may be an indicator that you're an undisciplined team. So one day, I understand. I think the T-shirt thing is an asinine discussion.
Of course it is.
Yeah, but when you talk about discipline of a football team. Nick Saban made you tuck your shirt in all the time. Now, that didn't impact your play at all. Kirby Smart makes you tuck your T-shirt in all the time at practice. Does not impact the way you play football at all. Untucked T-shirt, tucked T-shirt, you're still a hell of a football player. You're not. But detail, attention to the little things, as Joel Klatt said yesterday so perfectly, can lead to bigger things being a problem. That's all I'm saying. And listen, I'm not the no fun police. I love the dancing. One thing I will.
You kind of sound like it right here, though. I got to tell you.
No, it's
so you don't have a problem with them doing it.
I don't have a problem with them doing that during a play. I have no problem after you've done something. I've said this all year long. When you score a touchdown, dance all the hell you want to dance because you just scored a touchdown.
If you're behind,
it's a touchdown.
Okay,
I'm okay with
no,
it.
I'm just asking. I just want to know where you stand.
But if you're way behind, yeah, it's probably a stupid look. Like last night when the Buccaneers down 41-10, they scored a touchdown. White just threw the ball on the ground, ran back to the bench. He had aware of the situation that they were getting beat 41-10. No need to dance right there or jump into the stands. You're getting beat by 31 at that point. But you notice what's cleaned up a little bit has been the crap talking by the defense after they lost at Vanderbilt. That whole game, they sat there and got in everybody's face from the coin flip on. That's cleaned up a little bit.
Well, I would hope that was the defense realizing they're not good enough to crap talk.
That's what I'm saying.
I think that's what I'm saying.
I don't know if Kane Womack or Kalen DeBoer had to step in and say, cut it out. I would hope the defense would be like, we're going to have to play a little bit better if we're going to talk. And we don't play well enough to back up our talk. And they don't, by the way. But, that was another criticism. People got on Ryan Williams for dancing after the touchdown against Vanderbilt when they were behind. It's just those things just get magnified when you lose football games. Yeah. If you win football games, none of these things ever come up.
Touchdown dancing, I don't have a problem with because you scored a touchdown. You've done something. Make a big play on defense. You can do this. You can do this. You can do all of that.
You know what you
just
can't do?
Did something.
You know what you can't do? I can't unload my gun into Lance anymore. That's a penalty now.
If you pull out a hose and look like you're putting water in a water gun, then can I do it?
You got to turn the.
And I know it can help you in recruiting. Maybe it looks like you're having the most fun ever. Come to our school. We're having the most fun ever. Come to what's the Alabama version of the SIP?
Yeah. The BAM. I don't know. It was those guys are not. Just their role in the play is to be outside. Yeah, that's their role in the play. You be outside and drag a guy out there. That is the end of your assignment in this play. We just need you on the field.
Our friends at MyBookie getting you ready for another night of college football. One of the games tonight, Sam Houston State on the road at Florida International. Be wary here. Bearcat spelled incorrectly on the road at FIU. You get those kids from Texas down at the beach area, man. It could be a little distraction. MyBookie.ag. I'm still going with the Bearcats.
The Bearcats with a K are a 4.5-point favorite at FIU. That big Louisiana Tech UTEP game, I know we'll all be watching that one. La Tech, a 6-point favorite in that one tonight. Checking some of the Saturday lines of note, the Auburn Tigers, the Alabama Crimson Tide, of course, both in action. Alabama holding at a 13.5-point favorite over Missouri. That's about where that line opened. Hasn't moved a whole lot right there at mybookie.ag. 13.5-point favorite for the Crimson Tide. One line of note, Texas A&M, 2.5-point favorite at home over LSU in a massive Southeastern Conference matchup. So you can play that game right there at mybookie.ag as well. And Auburn, a 2.5-point underdog at Kentucky. Code next round when you go to mybookie.ag. Code next round. You sign on there, you make your initial deposit, you use code next round. They're going to double that deposit. You use that money right away, free money for you to play with right there at mybookie.ag. Double deposit at mybookie.ag when you use code next round. All those games I mentioned, all the weekend games, the NFL games, all right there at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere. mybookie.ag, code next round at mybookie.ag.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at jimdunaway.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the Next Round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood. Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over number 2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce number 1, Ryan Williams, late in the fourth quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce number 2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Adams Beverages is a leader in the beer industry and is hiring CDL drivers, warehouse staff, and sales reps. Whether you are a seasoned professional or exploring a new path, join Adams Beverages for an open house October 23rd from 10 to 4 at 141 Industrial Drive in Birmingham. With a commitment to quality and community, Adams Beverages offers a great place to grow your career. Learn everything about Adams Beverages and more on the October 23rd open house at adamsbeverages.net.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
From the creators of The Next Round comes 2 new sites, CoverCrimson.com and thebarnauburn.com. 2 team sites with the same excitement and information-driven content that you get every day on The Next Round. Live daily shows, recorded shows, free of charge, plus premium content with insider information starting at just $1. And it's the perfect gift for the Alabama or Auburn fan in your family. CoverCrimson.com or thebarnauburn.com. Sign up today.
Here at The Next Round, we love our guests, especially our 2024 football regulars. Auburn and Alabama fans, we've got your guys. On Mondays at 9:25, we'll be joined by Alabama offensive lineman Tyler Booker, and Tuesdays at 9:25, we chat with Auburn quarterback Payton Thorne. Join us and rep your team.
Want more of the show? Download the app or visit nextroundlive.com for the latest podcast, The Mystery Fifth Hour, our Not For All Ages podcast, The Last Call, and the entire Double Down Media podcast family. All at nextroundlive.com and on the Next Round app.
By the way, I'm taller than at least one NBA player. I don't know who the shortest player is on Auburn and Alabama's team, but Yuki Kawamura is a new signee for the Memphis Grizzlies. Checks in at 5'8", flat 5'8".
Bet he's got better handle than you.
Not to the right. I can go to the right. He probably goes to the left better than me.
All right, Payton Thorne is with us. The Auburn quarterback joins us at this time each week. TheBarnAuburn.com for all your Auburn content. TheBarnAuburn.com. Join for $1. Welcome in, Payton. Hope you're doing well today.
I'm doing well. How are you guys doing?
Doing fantastic. Thanks a lot. That was a really hard hit you took. I'm curious, and you left the game for only one play. I thought it was going to be worse than that. Thankfully, it was not. Is that the hardest hit you've had at Auburn?
At Auburn, probably. It's up there. I just got the wind knocked out of me. I couldn't breathe at all. I was on the ground, and I hate not being able to get up and having to go out at all. So I told our training staff I'm not going to the tent or anything. Like my head's fine, and so had to unfortunately take the one play out. But then I was able to get back in there.
No, it looked concussion. I mean, thank God to hear that, because the way the hit happened and you were on the ground, I mean, I thought, oh God, he's got a concussion, and you were back in one place. So thankfully that was not it.
Yeah. I just couldn't breathe. I was telling the guys when I was laying on the ground, they were, huddled around me, and I was like, I'm good. I can't breathe. And so trying to call the next play was not going to be possible in the huddle, and then executing a play while not being able to breathe is usually kind of difficult. So unfortunately, I had to go out for a play.
Yeah, what a strange game. And your opposing quarterback, Brady Cook, goes to the ER with a sore ankle and then comes back. We were talking about it yesterday, joking, like, I've been to the ER before, but it takes a day to get out of there. He comes back in the game. Strange question, but do you ever, reach out to, opposing players that maybe get hurt, just check on them, shoot them a text?
Not really. If it's a guy I know, obviously I would do that, but usually you're kind of concerned with your team, and we all have our schedule that we're on. So I hope he's doing well. I've heard that I don't think it's too serious, so that's good for him. Obviously, he's a good player, so hopefully for him and their team that he'll be able to come back quickly.
It's a weird question. I'll continue the weird questions. For us, it seems like the football season is flying by, going fast. And I remember my last year in school, back in college, it felt like it went by fast. Everything was fast. Does this season seem like it's flying by to you? Like we're down to just a handful of games now. Does that sadden you at all?
Yeah, it does feel like it's moving pretty fast. Having experience in football for a long time now, it seems like every season flies by. So it's something that I try to be cognizant of throughout the season and throughout just my career of, enjoying the day-to-day and not, getting too concerned with the future, because, you got right here today and you got a lot of things you can enjoy in the day. So trying to enjoy each and every day and look for the good things in the day, and not look back and say, man, I feel like it went by just like that,
Payton Thorne is with us, the Auburn quarterback. TheBarnAuburn.com is the website for all your Auburn coverage. Join for $1. A lot of great free content over there as well. So check it out, TheBarnAuburn.com and TheBarnAuburn YouTube page. He's, by the way, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You guys took the lead into the fourth quarter. I know it's been a tough year, and the losses have been very close. Did you sense on the sideline anxiety? Like, oh my God, we got to hold this lead? Or was there a sense of confidence? I know it didn't work out, but I'm just curious what the sideline was like going into the fourth quarter, or your huddle was like going into the fourth quarter with a lead like that.
Yeah, obviously I think it was 17-3 at some point in the second half. And so our defense was playing really, really well. And I thought they played well, the entire game. I thought they played good enough to win. And so, at 17-3, you're feeling good. And obviously on offense, you're trying to score every time you get on the field. So when we got the ball back and we got good field position once or twice, the goal was to at least get 3 and move the ball down there, milk some of that clock, and then also, extend the score. And obviously, we weren't able to do that. And, unfortunately couldn't extend our lead and put the game away.
Coming into this game, you guys led the FBS in turnovers, but the last 2 games, you've only had 1 turnover. So I would assume that, internally you guys are like, if we clean up the turnovers, we should be, that should equate to win. So that's got to be really frustrating that you guys have cleaned that up, but at the same time, it's not, equating to a win.
Yeah, like you said, you cleaned up one area, and obviously we weren't perfect on Saturday. Unfortunately, I lost the ball one time while running it, and, that's on me. I got to do a better job of, really clamping that thing down in traffic. But then I think our defense got 2. So I think we won the turnover battle, if I'm not mistaken. And so, I know they got 1, so at worst, I think it was even. But there's just other areas that, we're not executing well enough in. And, I think about the red zone, we get down there. We need to get the ball in the end zone, and we weren't able to do that efficiently enough. And then I'm sure, if you really didn't, and analyze the other areas, there's things that we're just not quite there on, and it shows up. And in close games against good teams, it stinks, but just not able to get it done.
Do you ever drive by Jordan-Hare Stadium and said, man, I remember when we used to play in that stadium there? I mean, it feels forever since you've been at home.
Yeah, we had our home stretch where it felt like we were in there every day. And then, now what's it been, 3 weeks, including the bye week that we haven't been in there, and going to be on the road again this week. So, we'll be back in there in a couple weeks. But yeah, it does feel like it's been a little bit.
When you look at Kentucky on tape, they're known for their defense, as Mark Stoops' signature there. What do you see when you look at the Cats already getting ready for that game?
Yeah, like you said, they're a really good defense. They play well together. Got a lot of older guys on that defense. They're really large up front. Their defensive front does a really good job in the run game and in the pass rush. And then when you look at their secondary, they're long. They got really good length, 6'3", I think, at both corners, and their safeties are good size too. So they pose a physical challenge in terms of that, and then also the stuff they do defensively. Like I said, they work well together, and they've had success this year so far for the most part. So it'll be a good challenge for us, and like I said before, they're a good defense.
Have you ever listened to Guns N' Roses? Are you a Guns N' Roses guy by chance?
I've definitely heard it. I couldn't name you 5 songs, but I definitely know who they are.
You've got a billion things going on. Mark Stoops, the Kentucky head coach, and Axl Rose, the lead singer of Guns N' Roses, now look identical. Like they didn't before, but Axl has gained a little weight. So he and Kentucky coach Mark Stoops, if you're bored to death between now and the game, Google Axl Rose and Mark Stoops, and they look identical. Like they could be the same person.
Axl Rose. All right, I'll keep that noted. I'll try to look that one up.
AXL. And it would be funny, like if you run out of bounds one time, you hand Mark Stoops the football and say, "You're in the jungle, baby." That would be funny if you just want to get a good chuckle. I think he might get the joke. You think Mark Stoops would get the joke?
I think he would. I think he has heard about it enough now.
Sure he looks like Axl Rose?
Yeah, I know this is not bucket list for you, but first game you've ever played in the state of Kentucky?
Yeah, I think so.
First time you've ever been to the state of Kentucky, or have you been to the Derby before?
No, I've been to Kentucky. I haven't been to the Derby. I've driven through Kentucky. I think I had a baseball tournament there growing up. And then, I obviously driving through it a few times.
I'll play off of that, man. Have you ever been to a Kroger? It's Kroger Field. I mean,
yeah, I bet he does a ton of grocery shopping.
What's your favorite go-to at Kroger's?
I've been to Kroger. I got my Kroger card in my wallet. I went to Kroger back up at Michigan State, and I still do down here. So
very good. Very good.
I like that he's a smart shopper. You got your Kroger card. What's that get you, 10% off or something?
Oh man, I don't know. I scan that thing every time. I hopefully get like $5
No,
off.
you don't get anything. That's
good. $5 feels good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like I go to Publix or whatever, they're like, "Do you have a number?" I'll always give my wife's number. Like I assume my wife has signed up for all of these, so I give the number, and they punch in. They go, "Okay, you're in there," and I'm like, "Well, what did I get out of that?" I just gave you my wife's.
We got your information. Is what you got.
I got nothing out of that. I don't think.
Kroger man, I like it.
All right, Payton. Good luck against Kentucky. We always appreciate the time, man. Have a great week.
Appreciate it. Talk to you guys later.
All right, buddy. Take care. Payton Thorne with us, the Auburn quarterback, on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline, thebarnauburn.com, thebarnauburn.com for all your Auburn content there. Also, the Barn Auburn YouTube page. Great free content there. You can join the message board for just $1 right now at thebarnauburn.com.
Have we ever filibustered that bad of an interview?
I was hoping he knew. I was hoping he knew more about Guns N' Roses. That was on me.
We have.
I mean, there's just not much to talk about. You guys aren't good. You suck.
Yeah, he knows that.
You and Hugh don't seem to get along. We've talked about that.
I don't know how many different ways we can ask that question.
And we're not really going to get anything from that.
And how many different ways he can answer it. Yeah.
The funny thing is Jordan-Hare plays Welcome to the Jungle at the stadium.
They do. I kind of thought that might connect, but it did not. No.
The show being brought to you by our friends at CPAP Plus. CPAP Plus, if you're wanting to wake up CPAP Plus can make sure you're
If
getting
you're wanting to wake up.
CPAP Plus make sure you're getting a good night's sleep.
Oh, no. Looking for the best CPAP gear out there with personal service you can trust? Visit CPAP Plus. You can Google CPAP Plus or just stop in to one of those 3 convenient locations, Pelham, Highway 280. Trustful, new customers for the next round viewer and listener. $20 credit towards purchase of a new mass system CPAP cleaner, even a travel CPAP machine. Got to mention the next round. You can stop by CPAP Plus where you're going to find the best service and equipment, all in stock, all ready for you with hundreds of 5-star Google reviews. Trust CPAP Plus for all of your CPAP needs. CPAP Plus, where every night matters.
And then absolutely, if you need this, this segment brought to you by our friends at Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration. Authentic flavors, zero sugars, and no BS. Look for Ghost Energy and Ghost Hydration at all retailers that sell them. For your pick-me-up right now, energy and hydration drinks near you as our friends at Ghost Energy right there. Who got ghosted in the NFL this weekend by your opinion, LT? It looks like my Buccaneers now with those injuries.
I think who got ghosted was John Mara, the owner for the New York Giants, giving up Saquon Barkley in division when Saquon was going to take a pay cut to stay, and he goes almost 200 total yards in a 28-3 win.
Have you seen the video that has leaked out from not leaked out, I think it was NFL Films video, but it's been released from the sidelines. He's close to some sort of record. I don't know if it's a franchise record or a personal record, Saquon Barkley, and Sirianni goes over and informs it of it. He's like, man, let the young guys play.
Yeah.
He goes, we got to lead. Let some of the young guys get in there. I thought it was pretty cool of Saquon.
He's supposed to be a great dude.
Yeah.
And, there were New York fans burning his jersey. I'm like, he wanted to stay.
Yeah.
Like, what's he supposed to do?
For less money.
Yeah.
I think his words, Brownie, was, let the young guys eat.
Yeah, let them eat. That's what he said.
Let them eat. Let them eat.
I like that.
Eating right now is ABC's contract with the SEC. Television ratings this past week, for the first time since 1996, one network had 2 games over 10 million viewers. 1996 is a long time ago.
That's a long time, and the TV product has never been more popular in college football than it is right now.
Yeah, so you had 2 games, the Alabama-Tennessee game leading into the big one, Georgia and Texas, that both went over 10 million viewers.
So Alabama-Tennessee had 10.7 million viewers, and Georgia-Texas had 12.9 million viewers, which is the cherry on top, because I don't know that they're going to hit these numbers again this year. I don't know what SEC game would approach these numbers outside of the SEC championship game. I just don't know that there's a regular season game that's going to get 12.9 million viewers. Like, even if you could match 2 teams together right now in the SEC, I don't know who would do it.
Georgia at Ole Miss, depending on how games play out.
Yeah,
if it's in prime time, Alabama, LSU, depending on how games play out, it could get to 10 million.
10 million, yeah, but I was saying, 12.9, it's going to be hard to beat. So what that means now is the number 1 game in the country so far this year is 12.9 million, Georgia, Texas. Number 2, Georgia, Alabama, 11.9 million. Number 3, Bama, Tennessee, 10.7 million, all those on ABC. Number 4 was Ohio State, Oregon, 9.6 million on NBC. And number 5, Texas, Michigan, 9.19 million on Fox. 7 of the top 10 games are ABC. 7 of the top 10 halfway through the season are ABC. 6 of the top 10 are just straight conference games in the SEC. 9 of the top 10 involve an SEC team. The
other numbers are SEC playing Big Ten.
SEC playing Notre Dame.
Yeah.
SEC playing Michigan, and the only one that was not SEC was Oregon and Ohio State.
Yeah,
it's the only one that involved an SEC team, and then SEC playing ACC with Georgia, Clemson.
I said this morning, tell me if you think this factors into it. It shouldn't. I'll say this, but you tell me if you think it factors into it. If you come down to 2 teams at the end that have like resumes, and it's the last wild card spot in the playoffs, it's an SEC team or an ACC Big 12 team, do you think those type numbers play into a decision, whether it's legitimate or just in the back of somebody's mind? I
think they have to. Look, this is a massive business. College football has never been this healthy. And, I thought for sure, and this is not on every single Saturday, but with the ability to go out and buy a 65-inch TV for a couple of $100 and to have the accessibility of watching all these games. And I thought it would take away from the in-game experience and people wouldn't show up at games as much. I mean, people are watching. You get those massive numbers, but people are still flocking to the stadiums.
I know. I mean, the games are still selling out. You guys are both in Knoxville. Did you see an empty seat?
No.
It's a shoulder to shoulder.
It wasn't one in Austin. Both of those games.
And you know what? To your point, Jim, and I want to make one more point here, but to your point.
A.K.A. A&M Texas at the end could be that number, Brown. Prime time.
Maybe so. I mean, if it's prime time because
little blood on the moon.
Blood on the moon?
Yeah, there'd be some fighting going on in that game.
It's going to splatter all the way up to the moon. I've never heard that saying. Is that it? Did you just say that off the cuff?
I think it's blood on the scarecrow.
Blood on the scarecrow. I think it's blood on the plow, isn't it? Anyway.
Yeah, rain on the scarecrow.
Rain on the scarecrow, blood on the plow. You see exactly one, Jim, in these top 10 ratings, one ACC team. That's Clemson, who played Georgia.
Right.
You know which conference is not at all represented here?
Big 12.
Big 12. To your point.
Yeah, even with Deion.
It's a team, and the Colorado ratings are way down. That is right. They're actually a better team this year, and their ratings are down, which is high.
That's why, talking to Brock on Unlocked yesterday, he had the Colorado game, and he said he was continuing to get updates on Alabama, Tennessee. He wanted it to be a blowout one way or the other because he wanted eyeballs. Now they got the blowout, but the numbers were drastically different.
Yeah. The other quick thing I was going to point out, CBS, who gave up the SEC package and paid triple what they were paying for the SEC. They're paying 3 times. Their highest ranked game this year is 12th. We're halfway through the season. Their most watched game was USC at Michigan. 12th. And they're paying triple for that. It's just insanity.
Tyler, clean up the dead wood there. Is Blood on the Moon? This is brought to you by Grace Tree Service. LT will tell you about them in a second. Is Blood on the Moon a real saying? What does it mean?
It said all the results were related to like either a Bible verse or just like it being a bad omen that danger's coming.
Well, the Bible verse is a blood moon, not blood on the moon.
Yeah, I would think this is like Farmer's Almanac. John Cougar Mellencamp was always singing about the farmers.
Yeah.
And then that was the other thing that came up when you guys were talking about blood on the plow being the saying.
Yeah.
The only thing I could find was rain on the scarecrow, blood on the plow by John Miller.
It's a great song. Right. Jay says Blood on the Moon is a 1948 movie that Tyler and Milton will watch and give a review on later on today's Meltdown.
We review everything else.
I mean, blood on the plow could be just a hard-working farmer, right?
That's right. Man,
leaving his blood out there on the field.
Yeah. Rain on that scarecrow. Tell us about Grace.
Family owned and operated, 25 years right here in Birmingham. Had the guys out a few months ago to extract some trees. Met with them last week. John, Mark, all the fine folks there just do an incredible job. Experts in high-risk tree removals, pruning, soil health treatment to strengthen those trees and plants. Trusted by nearly every golf course in town at the Birmingham Zoo. No competition. Call 205-281-6100. You can scan that code that Scotty has put up there or just visit graystree.com.
Let's see. We'll do 4 downs later in the show. Clay Travis is next. Jonathan in the mybookie.ag chat room. Listen, these comments, I always like. Do I know these people are not Auburn fans or Tennessee fans or whatever? But Jonathan says, "I pray Milroe does not come back next year." Listen, I was talking to an Alabama fan last night via text, who honestly had pissed me off.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know this person?
I do. I
mean, I hope they're texting each
Well,
other.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, is this a good friend? I should have said it that way, right?
I mean, we're friends. We're friends, yeah.
I mean, I got a text from like a random New York number yesterday. How was your weekend, sweetie?
Oh, I get those not all the
too.
time.
Hey, you want to go to coffee, sweetie?
Yeah.
I was like,
I just don't respond.
You know what I've gotten several times is like, hey, honey, you want to go play golf?
Yeah.
And like it's a number I don't have saved.
Somebody,
like, they know who I am?
Yeah, somebody was like, hey, sweetie, you want to meet up for some coffee?
It's like a California number.
No, I don't want to meet up for some coffee. I only drink coffee in the morning.
New phone, send pic.
Yeah. I'll answer in a second. But this guy was talking about the first thing he says. I think it was I would pay to have Booker not on the next round next time.
I would pay to have him not on.
I would pay the next round not to have Booker on again.
He thinks it's our fault,
and that's when I started. I was like, what are you even talking about? He's just talking. He's just talking. And I was like, there's never been a better representative for the University of Alabama football program than Tyler Booker ever.
Yeah.
Well, he just says wild things. He doesn't say wild things on our show. In fact, some of you were bitching in the chat room the other day.
He's a great kid, but he is kind of like, he's so aware that like Saban And Madsen probably got in his ear last year that he knows that. I mean, and a prime example was, Jalen, he's 100%. And then you ask a question. Let me go back real quick.
Let me back it up, Terry.
Because he's not 100%, but everybody's hurt this time of year. In fact, he is. When Nick Saban retired, Tyler Booker wrapped both arms around the program and sort of was pulling everybody to stay.
Yeah, he's Crimson for life.
How you could not want this guy talking? He says outrageous things. He doesn't say outrageous things.
I don't think he's ever
show.
said an outrageous thing.
Kind of wish he did.
Yeah, which was asinine, which led me down, and which led me to, I thought 17 years of what Alabama fans had just experienced would have maybe helped you guys go up to another level of fandom. But apparently that is not the case. You guys are right back in your pre-Saban mode of let's burn the effing place down after 2 losses. And I don't understand that kind of fan base, that you're ready to burn everything down, out with Milroe, in with Ty Simpson. I was like, how many meaningful snaps, and I'm texting here, banging my fist as I'm texting, how many meaningful snaps have you seen Ty Simpson in?
None.
I got that dotted line, thinking. I go, let me help you here. None. Zero. Not one meaningful snap.
In fact, even when they were trying to prove a point and not start Milroe, they didn't even start Ty Simpson. They started Tyler Buckner.
So boom, you want Milroe out. You don't want Booker talking. What are you even doing? 17 years of having the greatest coach of all time, and you guys have learned nothing. Nothing. By the way, if I'd have told you in July at SEC Media Days, I think it was the most common prediction. Coming out of the Tennessee game, everyone had Alabama where? With 2 losses. Now, it wasn't going to be Vandy in Tennessee, but a lot of people had them losing to Georgia in Tennessee. So where the hell are you right now? You got 2 losses, right? And you were expecting to win the rest of them and be a 10-2 team in the playoffs, and you were going to be happy. Yeah. That's what you said in July. 10-2 in the playoffs, DeBoer's first year, I'd be happy.
People said that.
I'd be happy.
Well, yeah, I think anybody would have taken that going into the season. And look, it's still out there. And it's funny, somebody was crushing me yesterday that I said last week I thought Alabama was going to finish 11-1, and now I'm saying they're finishing 10-2. Well, yeah, I mean that would be the next likely thing, right? I mean, if they lose this week, I think they're going to go 9-3.
Yeah, 11-1 is off the table.
Yeah,
clearly.
But your happiness when you were eating ice cream in July after watching the fireworks, you were like, man, if we're 10-2 and just make the playoffs.
But nobody thought that would be Vanderbilt, Jim. That's the problem.
I know, but it was the Georgia. It wasn't the Vanderbilt loss. It was the Georgia win that changed everybody's expectations.
They got false hope on that one, you think?
And then it was like, we're the great. Nothing has changed. And we may be better off than with Nick Saban.
I really think, and look, this doesn't surprise any of us that you lose 2 or 3 games.
It doesn't. I just thought in 17 years it wouldn't happen so fast, LT. They learned something.
I know, but if you really did take that Vanderbilt loss off the table, if it was Georgia and Tennessee, I don't think it would be as bad, or it wouldn't seem as bad.
Jim, when they said 10-2, they didn't know the guy would wear a damn T-shirt on the sidelines. I mean,
we're shooting jump shots.
Shooting jump shots.
I mean, I don't usually text this much, but I was texting this guy last night, and I felt bad because he followed us from the other station. He's a good dude.
Oh, good dude. You wore him out.
He's a good guy.
Do you think he's listening today or watching today?
He's just got so much Alabama in him.
Got too much Bama.
More than you.
Got too much Bama in him?
I'm just saying, you're going to lose some football games. It's a freaking SEC.
Well, I think everybody needs to get used to this. I mean, the days of domination are over.
Is that the greatest quote in Alabama history? That old cat that ran off the sidelines and tackled the guy, and he's like, I just had too much Bama in me.
Yeah. I tell you what, it's
incredible.
Better. It's better than we coach everything on the field.
I said too much.
I don't even know what that means.
I said too much Bama in me. Guy ran off the sidelines and made a tackle.
I mean, in July, 10-2, and everyone would be dancing. And it's still out there. Now, I understand it doesn't look like you're going to win the rest of them, but you can. You can.
I mean, if I asked you guys, you give me right now the top 5 teams in the SEC.
Currently?
We're up against the top. Right, I would love to do this.
I'm just
exercise.
trying to think out of it out loud. I mean, it's tough to do.
Okay, I'm going to do.
I think it's impossible.
I've got it. I mean, I've got what I know are the 5. I'm not confident.
That was actually a topic off of Brian Kelly yesterday, saying that Texas A&M is the best team in the SEC right now. My thing is,
who does he play this week?
Texas A&M. So I wrote down who are the 5 best teams in the SEC. So we'll do that after Upset Alert, because God knows we'll go along with Clay Travis, who's up next with us. Brought to you by our friends at HydroLive. Tell us about HydroLive, LT.
IV therapy, B12 injections, cryotherapy, compression therapy, now weight loss therapy, all under one roof. 2 locations in Birmingham, the original in Homewood, Highway 119 in Greystone. There's a Tuscaloosa location. Very important when you're in one of those great locations of HydroLive therapy, mention the next round, 20% off all of their great services. Also ask about memberships. You basically recoup the membership fee in your first visit when you get a free IV bag. You can book your appointment online. Walk-ins welcome. HydroLifeTherapy.com. If you actually can't get to one of the 3 locations, they can actually send a nurse to you. Again, for more information, HydroLifeTherapy.com.
And our friends at Urology Centers Alabama, UrologyCentersAlabama.com. 35 urologists, 16 locations treating all your urological needs, from prostate health to kidney stones. They'll take care of you, vasectomies and everything else. Guys, you need a good urologist in your life as you get older, into your 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s. Visit UrologyCentersAlabama.com, UrologyCentersAlabama.com to schedule an appointment.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
Your new Academy Sports and Outdoors is now open in Birmingham with the best in sports equipment, outdoor gear, apparel, and footwear from the brands you love, and all at low prices every day. Academy Sports and Outdoors carries a wide selection of trusted brands like Nike, Stanley, Brooks, Carhartt, Blackstone, Yeti, Titleist, Shimano, and more. Plus, you can shop online or on the app with free in-store pickup, or enjoy free shipping to your home on purchases over $25. Your new Academy Sports and Outdoors is located at 4610 U.S. Highway 280 in Birmingham.
What's up, everybody? This is Mayor Woodfin, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. The McDonald's Magic City Classic, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Legion Field October 26th. Watch the parade fill the streets of Birmingham. Turn up at the Coors Light tailgate party, enjoy the bands at halftime, and of course, bring that magic into the stadium. The best seats are selling fast. Tickets start at just $25. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MagicCityClassic.com.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair to kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
What's up, everybody? This is Mayor Woodfin, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. The McDonald's Magic City Classic, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Legion Field October 26th. Watch the parade fill the streets of Birmingham. Turn up at the Coors Light tailgate party, enjoy the bands at halftime, and of course, bring that magic into the stadium. The best seats are selling fast. Tickets start at just $25. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MagicCityClassic.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Adams Beverages is a leader in the beer industry and is hiring CDL drivers, warehouse staff, and sales reps. Whether you are a seasoned professional or exploring a new path, join Adams Beverages for an open house October 23rd from 10 to 4 at 141 Industrial Drive in Birmingham. With a commitment to quality and community, Adams Beverages offers a great place to grow your career. Learn everything about Adams Beverages and more on the October 23rd open house at adamsbeverages.net.
Follow Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. The social media team at Next Round Live is dedicated to giving you daily news conferences and practice video from UAB, Alabama, Auburn, and around college football. Follow and compare to the sites you used to visit. You'll also get the latest highlights and news from the Next Round Daily Show. Turn on the notifications so you don't miss a thing. Next Round Live on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. See more at nextroundlive.com.
We talk about all the biggest games every Monday at 10:30 with Fox Sports analyst Joel Klatt. Presented by MyBookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. If it is meaningful at all in college football, we cover it Mondays with Joel Klatt, presented by MyBookie.ag on the Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, so Clay Travis is about to join us now. In my world of hedging my bet, which would have been the better outcome? Because LT gave me a crisp $100 bill yesterday. Now I owe a steak dinner to Clay.
Y'all will never go to dinner.
I mean, when are you going to see Clay again?
It was much better for you to win the $100.
Right. That's what I'm thinking, because I think to pay off this bet, Clay has to decide he actually wants to sit down and eat with me.
Yeah,
and I don't know if there's value in that at all. Clay Travis.
Yeah, Clay with us now, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well. Clay, I mean, eating with Dunaway seems punishment enough. I just think you ought to wipe this.
Well, first of all, I warned you guys. I said, look, Alabama is a women's softball school now, and people didn't believe me. I said to Dunaway a while back, we got Tennessee football passing Alabama, and I feel bad because there's a small segment of your audience right now which is hyperactive online that is both diehard Alabama Crimson Tide fans and diehard Kamala supporters, and they are coming in for the worst fall ever. I've still got cigars to smoke in a couple of weeks, but I had some nice cigars on Saturday night to celebrate Tennessee getting the win over Alabama. And honestly, the game was almost exactly what I expected. Tennessee's defense is really good. Nico is still a work in progress. He missed so many throws in the first half. He missed so many throws against Arkansas, so many throws against Florida. But I hope that in the second half he started to round into shape. The one that he dropped on 3rd and 6 to give Tennessee basically a 14-10 lead was a kind of throw that not very many quarterbacks in college football can make. And then obviously the touchdown throw late. And, if I'm an Alabama fan, and I look, I mean, if Jalen Milroe, if you have a decent linebacker mirror, and Tennessee does, and Jalen Milroe can't run, and you have solid corners, and Tennessee does, and I think a lot of the top echelon teams in college football do, Alabama doesn't have much on offense. And I'm not very sold on the secondary. I don't know how much you guys, I like to watch from the, either the all 22 if I really care about a game. Tennessee had receivers running wide open all day, just running right by Alabama defensive backs. And if Nico had hit him, I think Tennessee would have won going away. And I did not see very many big plays that Alabama left on the field. I didn't see guys running open.
Because Milroe was throwing frisbees.
Clay, if we'd had one of those dogs you see at halftime of college basketball games, Bama would have won by 100.
That's the design. I mean, they were not running open, and if you make Milroe stay in the pocket and throw, he's not very good. That's just the reality. And so I don't think, honestly, Alabama is very good on the offensive or the defensive sides of the ball. And I also don't think they're very disciplined. If I want to point to something, we talked about Malachi Moore flipping out and kicking the football and losing his mind late against Vanderbilt. For 4th and 7 to have a receiver who decides that he's going to smack a Tennessee guy in the face. And look, maybe that should have been offsetting penalties, but that's two different crucible moments of games where Alabama players have completely lost control of their emotions. I don't remember that happening with Nick Saban as the coach. And maybe you can, say one is just frustration. It happens twice. I also think, what in the world on the sideline is Kalen DeVore going for it on 4th and 22 with 3 timeouts left? And Tennessee, honestly, playing really conservative. I think Josh Heupel should have gone for it on 4th and 2 instead of kicking the field goal to end the game once and for all. But I think I'm correct. In the final 4 drives, Alabama had 3 yards of offense. There are a lot of red flags. And if you're a rational, reasonable Alabama fan, and there are some, I think you have to be very concerned about the drop-off that you've seen from Nick Saban to Kalen DeVore.
So, Clay, I've been to, 6, 7, 8 games in Neyland. I know you've been to a ton of games there. I tweeted this out on that first series. That was the loudest atmosphere I've ever been a part of, at least that early in a game. It only got louder and louder. Now, I had people reach out to me yesterday that heard me talk about how loud it was, and they were like, they were pumping music in there, or they were pumping sound in the Neyland Stadium. I don't know about any of that, but, I give Tennessee a lot of credit. That atmosphere was pretty incredible.
Well, one thing that stood out to me, and again, Alabama fans get talk big if they disagree, but there weren't very many Alabama fans there.
Nope, not at all.
Over the years, this is one of the things that Tennessee administrators would always say, and I think this is true in all SEC fan bases. You can tell whether a fan base believes in a coach or not by how many good seats the opposing team can get when they come into a road environment, right? Because the reality is, in a StubHub era, a SeatGeek, whatever era, if you have the money, you can buy tickets for any sporting event, right? There's no such thing as a sellout anymore. When I was a kid, you guys remember, you'd have to walk around and there were scalpers outside and you didn't know what the price was going to be and you had to have cash in your pocket. Nowadays, everything's digital on your phone and you can always buy tickets. And I always kind of pay attention to that. When you go to a big game, if you want to see what the vote is on whether people have faith in the program and the coach, look at how many opposing fans are able to get really good seats. There were no Alabama fans, by and large, in good seats, and Alabama fans really didn't travel and buy up some of the upper deck seats, like I have seen in years past, where it's not that bad of a trip.
Yep.
You want to come up to Knoxville, weather was going to be good. Big game, Alabama's still ranked in the top 10. I don't think Alabama fans believe in this team, and I think there's a lot of apprehension, some loud, but also quite a bit quiet. About how well coached this team is and the drop off after Nick Saban.
Yeah, it used to be easier when the end of Phil Fulmer and the other coaches you had there. You could actually buy box seats as an Alabama fan.
That's how
sit in the booster seats.
Yeah, Fulmer. Who was the AD then? Was it Dave Hart or Mike Hamilton that fired Fulmer?
Hamilton.
Mike Hamilton. He said himself that he reached the decision, like he was already considering it, but he reached the decision after Alabama beat them in 08, I believe it was 08. And he said, at the end of the game, I was on the field scanning around, and the amount of crimson I saw in our big booster seats told me it was time to make a move.
Yeah, and God forbid they return tickets like I think Tennessee did in 2017. They returned some of their allotment. Couldn't sell the allotment out, but I digress.
You guys, you Bama fans are already living in the past. It's going to be like Bear Bryant with Nick Saban. Maybe 20 years of wilderness now. You guys are just going to be like, what's the old line? How many years can you feed off a dead bear? Alabama's been doing it for 20 years. You got to watch out.
Clay Travis is with us, founder of Outkick, also Fox. He's on the JohnstonRVCenter.com hotline. You and I were both tweeting about this morning. CBS is paying 3 times what they were paying to show SEC games, and they don't even have a game in the top 10 this year. And ABC has got 7 of the 10, and they all have an SEC. They've got 9 of 10 with an SEC team in them. CBS could add all these games.
Yeah, you've got. First of all, I think it's the dumbest decision in the history of sports media television that CBS walked away, and I don't think this story gets told enough. But for people out there who do not know it, when the SEC expanded and added Texas A&M and Missouri, all Mike Slive wanted was for CBS to be willing to pay per capita the same amount that they were already paying for the SEC Game of the Week for Missouri and Texas A&M's addition to the SEC. And if they had been willing to do that, he was willing to do a 10 or 20-year extension with them to allow them to continue to have the SEC Game of the Week. CBS refused to do it. And their argument was, well, the value of our game really doesn't change if there's 14 teams versus if there's 12 teams. And to their credit, and I'm not somebody who sings ESPN's praises very often, but ESPN looked at it and said, not only do we want to get in bed with the SEC, we're going to start the network now, and we're going to do a 20-year extension. And it has turned into a brilliant move. It led to them, meaning ESPN, being able to take away the SEC Game of the Week on CBS. And to your point, CBS, a lot of people don't understand this either, does not have the number one pick hardly ever for the Big Ten. Fox gets the number one pick almost always. So, for instance, Big Ten title game, Ohio State, Michigan, the games that are the most desirable in the Big Ten, most of them end up in Fox's hands. For instance, Alabama against Wisconsin was a Fox game. Texas against Michigan was a Fox game, right? I believe, and I don't know if this has been announced, but if it hasn't, it's going to be. Ohio State at Penn State is going to be a Fox game, right?
Yeah, Klatt told us why, too. They picked that over Oregon and Ohio State because it's right before the election.
Yeah, and so it's going to be, but I mean, that's going to be a monster game as well. And so the reason why I bring all that up is I don't think it gets talked about enough. I mean, it's one of the all-time dumbest decisions. And I give credit. You may have that release in front of you right now. I think they said Bama, Tennessee, and then Georgia, Texas, which obviously didn't end up being as good of a game as a lot of us had hoped it would be, was the most successful doubleheader for college football in like 30 years.
Yeah, 1996.
Yeah. I mean, think about how crazy that is. I think that the SEC brand is on fire. There's also some elements, and I think this is true too, that it's actually somewhat difficult for people to figure out where the Big Ten game is going to be because they're doing such a good job of branding the SEC on ABC and ESPN and obviously the SEC network that it's already getting easy to find it. But, I mean, look, how many people turned off the television when the Alabama-Tennessee game ended? If you're a big college football fan, you went ahead and left it on to wait and see what was going to happen with Georgia, Texas. And if that game had been really good, if it had gone into the fourth quarter and been, a one-score game the whole way, it probably would have done 15 million viewers, which is getting up in the range of what an NFL game does.
I know both are unlikely, but we are living in a world now that crazy things have been happening this entire season. So if I ask you, what would make bigger news with the upset this weekend? Alabama losing 3 of 4 to Missouri, or Texas losing back-to-back to Georgia Vanderbilt?
You're good at hypotheticals. I think it would be Alabama, honestly, because Alabama losing 3 of 4 would be sort of a total dumpster fire. I think Vanderbilt having beaten Alabama, I don't think it would be earth-shattering if Vanderbilt beat Texas in the same way that it was Vanderbilt beating Alabama. In other words, people kind of think, Vanderbilt's 25 right now in the AP poll? If a top 25 team wins at home, look, is it a big upset? Certainly. But I think the Bama game was such a huge upset that Bama losing at home, because remember, the reaction, if you guys know better than anybody, what would Bryant Denny look like and sound like if Alabama lost to Missouri on Saturday?
Well, you saw Texas. I don't know if the fans would litter the field, but I think everything's on the table.
It would be Cleveland Brown-like booing, I believe.
Yeah, it would be, and there would be. So I think that would go viral, like the Alabama fan disgust with Alabama. And look, the marching the goalpost all the way down to the Cumberland River and throwing it in 3 miles later is already so iconic. I don't know how Vanderbilt could top in terms of reaction. By the way, I don't know if I told you that, guys, but I was having a conversation, and I haven't heard the impact of Vanderbilt yet on admissions, but I don't know that this is public. I was talking to somebody at the University of Tennessee about the Alabama game 2 years ago. And they said after the win over Alabama 2 years ago, on Monday, Tennessee got 4,000 applications to the university, just based off the advertisement, how awesome it looked, how much fun it looked like. I bet Vanderbilt, in the wake of the win over Alabama, did something similar in terms of people who may not have otherwise paid attention to Vanderbilt being like, oh, wow, this looks awesome. And certainly, I actually think, look, the 6 national championships is extraordinary. I actually think what Nick Saban did to the University of Alabama overall and the larger SEC brand, I know that the Wall Street Journal did a story about it recently, but the degree to which kids all over the country want to come to Southern schools now, I think to a large extent Nick Saban deserves a lot of that credit, not only at Alabama, but also at the larger SEC. And I think that story may end up being, believe it or not, the most profound legacy of what Nick Saban in Alabama did was improving the academic. Guys, when I was a kid, when I went away to college, the idea that moms and dads in New York and California would send their kids to SEC schools was like laughable. People thought we didn't have running water in Tennessee when I went away to school on the East Coast. And now all those parents, the kids are begging to be able to go to SEC schools.
Yeah, and part of that, and Dunaway has always said this, credit to the visionaries at the SEC, as dumb as CBS was to let that go, having that national 2:30 window that showcased that every year was invaluable to both the SEC and the schools. I mean, that's part of the reason, Clay, is that everywhere in America got that 2:30 SEC game.
Yeah, and let me tell you this, like if you could go back in time, Fox should have all of the SEC. Because imagine what the value of Fox News programming surrounding all the SEC games would be. And probably Disney should have the Big Ten, ESPN. Instead, obviously, those are flipped, but it is kind of an incongruous setup because, Disney is so left-wing and Fox, at least, when you watch Fox News, I mean, I remember being with some Fox execs a couple of years ago watching a game, and they just looked around and they said every single person in the stadium either watches Fox News or is a future Fox News viewer. Man, we should have all these games.
He is Clay Travis, founder of Outkick and Fox. Thank you, Clay. Have a great week.
Hey, appreciate you all. Dunaway, go ahead and start saving up, buddy. It ain't going to be cheap.
I know. When will we be in the same city again, I wonder?
It's hung up.
Yeah.
Yes.
SEC Media Days.
I mean, we
it's
go to
back in Nashville.
My buddy that I went to the game with, a big Tennessee guy, every year, and I think Brown probably remembers this, we would bet SEC championship game because he lives in Atlanta.
Yep.
And we would bet a dinner. And so then after the game, we would go to the dinner, and he did not take it easy. So be prepared.
Over the Mondelli?
Yeah, I mean,
over the head,
crazy.
Mondelli's got good taste.
Well, he's just being a dick.
You do too.
That's what Clay's going to do to you if you ever sit down to break
right
bread.
over the head. You better get ready.
I will tell you this: the SEC Media Days is in Nashville coming up just a few days from now in July. We'll be back up in Nashville.
Thought it was in Atlanta. It's in Atlanta.
Is it in Atlanta?
Yeah, it's in Atlanta that's coming here
this year.
God, I think it's in Atlanta.
Which is back in Nashville. It's SEC basketball tournament. Maybe we'll go up for that. We'll see Clay then. All right. Show being brought to you by a couple of our great sponsors. One of them is our friends at Michelson Laser Vision.
If you wear contacts or eyeglasses, make the phone call that I made more than 2 decades ago, 205-969-8100. Ask for Amy. Tell her the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with a hassle-free consultation, 0 to lose, to find out if LASIK is right for you. Dr. Mark Michelson, the first to perform LASIK in the state of Alabama back in 1995, a true pioneer. Him and Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business, in my opinion. Make the phone call. Ask about pre-inflation pricing. For more information, MichelsonLaserVision.com.
And our friends at Johnston RV Center taking you on the road again this fall.
Rod's right. Could you just give him the vest? Just give him the vest. That's about what you're going to spend.
Yeah, $465. No, if I get out for $465 with a steak dinner with him, that would be a win.
Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur. That's where you find them. You can go see gorgeous America and gorgeous fall at Johnston RV Center in a travel trailer. As low right now as $145 per month. Great discounts on those travel trailers. How about a fifth wheel? You got that in mind? Savings more than $45,000 on fifth wheels. RV warranty forever. Make sure you got a lifetime warranty on anything new or qualifying pre-owned at Johnston RV Center, I-65, exit 304 in Coleman, 334 in Decatur, johnstonrvcenter.com.
All right, we're about to do 4 downs, and then we'll get to our upset alert coming up. A couple of basketball things first, though. Thursday night down at Samford, They've got Dogs After Dark. I mean, Bucky's coming off that NCAA tournament. Do I misremember this? Was it a bad call that kept them from winning that game?
Yeah. I mean, they had every opportunity to win that game. What was the call? Was it a goaltend or a non-goaltend?
I think the Sanford guy was going up to dunk it, and it was a foul.
Yeah,
They
it got
called
bodied.
a legal block or something.
Yeah. No, there was a bad call in there. Sanford kind of got jobbed in that game.
Yeah, but Sanford and Bucky ready to roll again. They're the pick to win the SoCon and go back to the tournament. Dogs After Dark is happening Thursday night. Doors at 6:30. Event begins at 7 o'clock. They got all the fun and championship replica rings out there. Student section T-shirts, food, prizes, and giveaways all happening. So if you're in the area and want to support Bucky and Sanford, go do that. Dogs After Dark this weekend. And the AP All-American team was announced yesterday. And we live in a world where we had an Auburn and an Alabama player on the AP first-team All-American. Cooper Flagg, the unbelievable freshman that's coming in for Duke. And then the rest are fifth-year seniors in college basketball. Hello, NIL. R.J. Davis of North Carolina, Hunter Dickinson of Kansas, Caleb Love of Arizona, Janai Broome of Auburn, and Mark Sears of Alabama. That's your AP All-American team.
Well, you're going to see more and more of this because you're going to have a lot of tweeners. Like, where is Broome going to play in the NBA? Like, does he have a developed good enough jump shot?
Position. I thought you were like Sacramento?
No, yeah. So
I got him at Portland.
I do think with NIL and, like Hunter Dickinson to go from Michigan to Kansas last year got over $1 million. He probably got that much to come back. So these guys that aren't necessarily surefire first-round guys, why would you not stay?
I mean, I've said all summer, Broome and Sears are legit Naismith Player of the Year candidates. The one thing about watching Sears and watching Alabama and Sears, and I don't know if this will happen with Broome. I obviously haven't had a chance to watch him yet, but we watched Alabama in person. I think his numbers are actually going to go down, and I don't know if that will hurt him. I mean, surely the people that vote on that will be smart enough to look past
his numbers
his
down
stats.
because the perimeter is going to be
his
better
numbers
players.
down because that team is loaded.
Yeah.
They are loaded with talent.
Yeah, especially at perimeter.
Yeah, and his numbers may go down a little bit, but I would think the people that vote on that are smart enough to look past statistics going down and look why they went down. Well, they went down because the roster's loaded. So I don't know. I don't know how that will hurt Sears, but I do think his numbers probably overall will be down just a little bit.
I thought you were talking about Janai. So Sears' numbers should go down too.
That's what I'm saying. No, Sears.
Yeah.
I'm saying I haven't seen Auburn play yet. It could happen with Janai too.
Yeah.
I don't know. I just haven't seen Auburn play. But I'm saying, having watched Alabama, don't you think Sears' numbers are probably going to go down a little bit?
Just because his minutes should go down. I
Well,
mean,
they didn't in the exhibition game.
He played 31 minutes LT in an exhibition game.
That's crazy.
Coach just left him out there. I was like, my God.
I thought he would play like 12 minutes, and then he'd be in bubble wrap over there, 31, and he's diving. All right, Slice brings you the 4 downs every day on the show. Tell us about our wonderful friends at Slice before we crank up the questions.
Yeah, 5 locations for you for lunch or dinner. Get in to see the Vijaya Brothers, local pizza, local ingredients from the soul pie to the hot mama. For more information, you can always go online, slicebirmingham.com.
First down.
Better chance of going undefeated this year, the Kansas City Chiefs or the Miami Hurricanes?
Miami Hurricanes. It's impossible to do in the NFL. They've made it so that it's impossible to go undefeated anymore in the NFL.
I think it is too. My Buccaneers, horrible schedule. We play the Chiefs on Monday Night Football here pretty soon.
That's going to be tough.
How do we get Ravens, Chiefs?
I don't know. Why do you have so many primetime games?
Were we in the Super Bowl last year?
Are you talking about Miami regular season or Miami overall?
I'm talking about overall.
I would still take Miami overall.
Oh, wow.
It's just impossible to do in the NFL.
I mean, these are all close, low-scoring games for the Chiefs, too. I mean, but that's the way it is in the NFL.
They've become a defensive team.
Yeah. If you're talking overall, LT, I mean, Miami winning the national championship basically is what you're telling me.
They'd be undefeated.
I would take in that case Kansas City.
It's just impossible to do in the NFL.
It is. But
I mean, look, I don't think Miami's going undefeated. In most, as Clay said, you're great with hypotheticals. Yeah. In most true 4-down fashion, the answer is neither is going to happen. Yeah, but the most likely, I'd say Miami.
I mean, we're 3 important reversals away from them being at least a 2-loss team right now.
Yeah.
Second down.
Since you brought that hypothetical back up, I'm going to ask you guys, what would be the bigger storyline in college football? The fact that Alabama loses 3 of 4 if Missouri was to go into Bryant-Denny and win that game, or Vanderbilt is an 18.5-point favorite to knock off Texas.
But very close call. Slightly more for one more week. Alabama losing a football game for one more week, and then they become a middling team at that point. They're out of the playoff hunt. But this would be the one that would eliminate them from the playoffs, and you can finally say Jason is dead.
But I think there would be two storylines coming out of the other. It would be Texas back-to-back. Like, Sark's got everything now. They were in a college football playoff, and now they've lost back-to-back games is kind of heavy favorites. And on the other side of that, you would have Vanderbilt going to, 6-2 at that point?
Yeah.
Vanderbilt would shoot up the charts.
And be legit playoff contender at that point, at large berth.
Well, if Alabama lost this week,
technically SEC championship berth too, because one of their losses is Georgia State.
If Alabama lost this week, now it's going to be a home loss. Like the other two, they're road losses. I mean, it's just another notch in the. Again, I don't think this is going to happen. Alabama's going to beat beat Missouri. I don't know if it's going to be by 13.5. I'm not sure they're 13.5 better than most teams in the SEC right now. But they're going to beat Missouri. I'm still going to be stunned if Texas loses to Vanderbilt.
Yeah, well, which you think's a more likely upset if one had to happen?
Vanderbilt over Texas, I think, is more likely.
I think it is too.
Well, Pavia's healthy, and
the numbers are about the same.
How healthy is Cook? I don't know that Cook is.
Yeah, I don't think he is.
I mean, if Brady Cook doesn't play, did you see Drew Pine?
I did.
He could not complete passes.
Yeah, I mean, there is a good chance. I mean, they are saying Cook's going to play right now, but.
Dude had to go to the hospital.
Yeah, there's a chance that your adrenaline's pumping.
That's right.
And maybe a little
God
shot.
only knows what they shot him up with.
Yeah, then you go out there, and then after a while, you just can't go.
Yeah, one hit, and you're. And I just don't think Missouri's that good. And Pavia causes issues. He doesn't get rattled. He doesn't get shook.
It would make my old SEC heart proud if Vandy beat Texas. Not only good for Vandy, but also it would be. Yeah. I mean, I was so happy Georgia won that game the other night because they didn't want Texas to come in here and run through the league without any competition. At least they took an L.
Again, neither of these are going to happen.
Neither one happens, yeah.
Third down.
Better chance of happening. Pitt gets to a college football playoff, still undefeated, the Panthers, or the Steelers get to an AFC championship game.
I'm going to say Steelers to the AFC championship game. The Panthers aren't on my Indiana radar, but they're close. Eli Holstein's playing pretty good quarterback, but Pitt could have a problem Thursday night with Syracuse. I definitely
Wait, so good. Do you think Pitt's better than Indiana?
No, I don't.
Okay.
But both of them I don't think are playoff worthy. I'm going to go with the Steelers. I believe Russell Wilson came in, opened up that passing game a little bit. Their defense is really good.
Russell looked bad early, but once he got in the rhythm of the game a little bit, he was a better quarterback than Justin Fields.
And boy, to me, man, at some point, if you just work Justin Fields in some packages, play two quarterbacks, I know that's unheard of, but run Fields in there in the red zone, let him run a little bit, throw the ball a little bit, keep them both engaged. He's your quarterback of the future. That defense has always been legit. I'd go Steelers in the AFC championship.
I think there are definitely 4 teams in the AFC better than the Steelers. So if they were to get into the postseason, they would have to win not 1, not 2, but 3 of those games more than likely. And I think anything's possible in the ACC, including Syracuse going to Pittsburgh Thursday night and beating the Panthers.
Upset alert coming up soon. Maybe that game's in play.
Clemson has to go to Pitt, and it's a road game. I don't know that it's particularly difficult to play it. I think it's Acrisure Stadium is the name of that place now.
Yep.
I don't know what Pitt's record is there. I don't know if there's some hidden record I don't know about. I do know, having watched their game against West Virginia in that stadium, it was a loud environment. I don't know if it was particularly hostile. But Clemson does have to go there. The ACC is so fascinating because Clemson, Miami, and SMU are at the top of that conference right now, and they don't play one another. None of those teams play one another. Yep. It normally sorts itself out, right? And it probably will, but you still at least have alive halfway through the season the possibility of 3 undefeated teams tied at the top of that conference.
Fourth down.
Better chance of happening. Bo Nix gets the Broncos to the postseason, or Prime gets the Buffaloes
I was just
to the postseason.
Sitting here. Oh, postseason?
Yeah.
Oh, Colorado's in the postseason. They're going to get to 6 wins.
No,
you mean the playoffs?
Playoffs.
I'm sorry.
Yeah,
Okay. Let me back it up, Terry.
I was about to say, damn, he's confident.
Let me back it up, Terry.
Kansas City, Chargers are bad. Raiders are bad.
In fact, let me tell you this.
Denver's not great. I'm going to still go Colorado Buffaloes with my answer. I'll let you explain yours now, but I think the Buffaloes just get to the Big 12 championship game with a puncher's chance has a shot. I'd say better shot with the Buffaloes.
Let me tell you this. When you talked about the Chiefs going undefeated, I actually think the first loss they're going to take is in 3 weeks to the Broncos. Broncos playing improved football right now. I think they've won 4 out of 5. Their one loss was the Chargers, who aren't great. But they're playing improved football. They destroyed the Saints Thursday night. I know it's a crappy Saints team.
So reliant on running the football.
They'll beat the Charger. They'll beat the Chiefs. That'll be the Chiefs' first loss. Broncos at home. That'll be the Chiefs' first loss.
I would take that bet with you, and you cover my bill with Clay Travis.
Chiefs are at the Raiders. They play your Buccaneers on Monday Night Football. That Sunday, Lance, is the 10th of November. Remember I said this, when the Chiefs lose to the Broncos at home, that's their first loss. I am not interested in betting on it, Jim.
And mybookie.ag, can I go ahead and put Moneyline Chiefs on that one?
What? Yeah, you can. What do you think the point spread is in that? Broncos at Chiefs.
Broncos at Chiefs. Chiefs 6.5.
Yeah, go ahead and get your money line on that, Jimmy.
Oh, 6.5 sounds easy. That's 4 downs, brought to you by Slice.
Yeah, 5 great locations. Stop in for a slice and a salad. Pick up a couple of pizzas on your way home. For more information, slicebirmingham.com.
And you want to play LT's plays. Baseball starting back this weekend. Got a couple of games tonight in college football. The NBA starts tonight with lanceslog.com. It's all brought to you by our friends at Hemphill.
205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. Call Adam, Chad, Andrew. If you experience any plumbing, heating, or cooling issues in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of these issues. 205-229-2090 or hemphillservices.com.
And our friends at Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living right there. Leslie and her board-certified team can help you with the weight loss. And by the way, if you want to change careers, there's a chance that that can happen for you too as they continue to grow. Check out career opportunities at aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. Personalized plans that work for you. Every plan is different. No cookie-cutter plan. Medical weight loss supervision as well. Those injections that are helping a lot of people lose weight, they've got those. They've got meal replacements. All board-certified medical professionals there to help you out with no contracts, no sign-up fees, and that first consultation is free. Aplanforme.com. Aplanforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
A legendary coach once said, "It's not the will to win that matters. It is the will to prepare to win." Hi, I'm Bobby Humphrey, Vice President of Business Development for Bryant Bank, and I can tell you that our Bryant bankers have the dedication and experience to put together a financial game plan that is right for you. At Bryant Bank, we specialize in community banking and offer personal and business loans, checking and savings account, mobile banking, and treasury management services. Stop by one of our 18 offices across the state of Alabama to find out what unbeatable service and legendary results are all about.
Are you tired of buying your CPAP mask and supplies online only to be disappointed? It's time to visit CPAP Plus, your locally owned and operated CPAP shop that prides itself on personal service. Come see what you're buying at CPAP Plus with 3 convenient locations in Pelham, Highway 280, and now open in Trustful. Drop by for a free CPAP checkup and free filters, no appointment needed. Plus, sign up for their giveaway for a chance to win a free travel CPAP machine. Just Google CPAP Plus or visit any of those 3 locations.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair to kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Adams Beverages is a leader in the beer industry and is hiring CDL drivers, warehouse staff, and sales reps. Whether you are a seasoned professional or exploring a new path, join Adams Beverages for an open house October 23rd from 10 to 4 at 141 Industrial Drive in Birmingham. With a commitment to quality and community, Adams Beverages offers a great place to grow your career. Learn everything about Adams Beverages and more on the October 23rd open house at adamsbeverages.net.
In some places, football is a sport. In Alabama, it's a fine art. New Life Art is proud to announce Daniel A. Moore's upcoming painting, Deuces Wild. This season, Bama is blessed with a pair of very talented deuces. The pair played a huge role on both sides of the ball in the Tide's amazing 41-34 victory over number 2 Georgia. Deuces Wild will portray the unbelievable game-winning 75-yard touchdown catch by deuce number 1, Ryan Williams, late in the fourth quarter. The Dogs' last chance drive was stopped by deuce number 2, Xavier Brown, as he made the game-saving interception in the end zone, which will be celebrated by a small artist's remark in the bottom margin of each print. Go to danielmooreart.com to see the artist's preliminary sketch and take advantage of special pre-publication pricing for Deuces Wild. Also available, The Legend, Daniel Moore's final tribute to Coach Nick Saban. Order now at danielmooreart.com.
By now, you guys know how I feel about my fashion. However, did you know that I care about your fashion choices? Cargo shorts are out, flip-flops are only appropriate on the boat, and please throw away that stained t-shirt from college. You may be thinking, EG, that's all I own. What do I do? Here's what you do. Go to nextround.store and fill your cart with a wardrobe that is approved by me. Stock up on logo t-shirts, hoodies for football season, and hats for every day of the week. Trust me on this one and head over to nextround.store to get stocked up for this season.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
Back with you on the next round. By the way, World Series cranks up this weekend. If you want to go to Game 1 at Dodger Stadium, cheapest ticket right now on StubHub, $1,216. Or you can just wait for Game 2. Oh, wait, it goes up, Game 2 in L.A., $1,254.
I just don't know where that market is. Like, if you go to a Dodger Stadium, you know, it's like some dude crawled out of his car. He slept there all night. It was like the Hillbillies in Tennessee this weekend. Like, how in the hell are they spending $1,000 on a ticket?
Or you could wait and do it in New York. Oh, wait, it goes up Game 3, $1,330 to get in on
That's
StubHub.
your get-in.
Those are your get-in tickets
seat
to the World Series. They don't love college football like we do in New York and L.A., so this World Series is going to be big. It's a Friday, Saturday start to it, which means I may see some of it at some point.
Yeah, I've always, watching the Cleveland Yankees series or watching the highlights on a Saturday and all of the Guardians fans going nuts, and I'm like, they're missing college football.
How about Friday night?
I used to never miss when I was a kid a World Series game, and I think back now, it's because there was only one college football game on. So
they didn't try to compete with it.
It was a college football day game and then a World Series game at night.
Yeah, college football doesn't care now.
I told this random story I told the other day. I will never forget, though, one Saturday night, it was the night the Braves beat the Indians in that Game 6 to win their first World Series. Auburn was at, I want to say Little Rock. I think the game was in Little Rock.
That sounds right.
At Arkansas. I don't think it was in Fayetteville. I think it was Little Rock. And Auburn fell way behind and stormed back. And I'm with a bunch of college buddies, and half of them want to see the Braves win the World Series, and half of them want to see if Auburn can come back because they were an Auburn fan, or B, they had bet on Auburn or bet on Arkansas, one way or the other. And we only had the one TV in the apartment, and it was a fight. Like, put it back on the Braves game, put it back on the Auburn game. But you're right. I mean, that was you had one option then.
Dr. B brings us part of the show. Tell us about Dr. B.
Dr. B, plenty of options when it comes to thinning out a little bit. If you think you're going bald, be preemptive. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316. Dr. B right now offering that Census Transdermal Infuser. This enables Dr. B to get various medicines and therapies into the scalp where the hair follicles are without using any injections. This is revolutionary, as Dr. B can pinpoint delivery of a patient's genetically specific products without any needles. When I started to thin out, I asked around. Everyone said Dr. Beckenstein is the guy you need to see. I do the non-invasive treatment 3 times a week, 30 minutes each time on the couch. That is it. The hair has more than doubled in thickness. Make the call that I made, 205-319-0316 or t3hair.net.
How about Friday night? Dodger Stadium, you tell me, Dunaway, that's where the World Series is at Dodger Stadium Friday night? Just across town at the Coliseum, you got Rutgers and USC. Same energy, you think?
I don't think so. Our man Brock Heward's going to be there.
You don't think so?
I mean, could you guys believe at the point spread in that game that USC is like a 2-touchdown?
No, Rutgers is falling apart.
Rutgers is falling apart. I don't know why, but I have zero faith in USC right now.
I don't know. Again, they're so banged up defensively, but USC jumps out to might be a good first half bet on USC.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Good first half bet, you say.
Jim writes that down.
Mental note, first half bet here. All right. All right, it's time for Upset Alert. I look forward to doing this every week. It literally is my favorite thing we do during college football season. I hope you guys enjoy it. I hope you pick your own picks. Before Brownie tells us about McCurry and Tyler hits the button, let's look at the updated standings. We gave you the peek at the start of the show. We're jam-packed, log jam, half a point separating me and Forrester. Lance is only a 1.5 back. Brown is within striking distance there. Again, the points, how it gets awarded. First of all, it's got to be a 4.5 point underdog to make the pick. You got to pick that. And then if you just cover, like Auburn did last week, they lost by 4. Forrester had it. He gets 5 points for the cover. If the underdog wins outright, you get those 5 points for the cover, and you get the number of points that they were the underdog. So that can be a big advantage there. That's why at 3-5, I've got the worst record, but I have 34.5 points. So it's Upset Alert time. Brought to you by our friends at McCurry. Tell us about McCurry.
McCurry Van and Car Rental. You can rent from McCurry Van and Car Rental, the local rental company you depend on for trucks, SUVs, passenger vans, easy to rent, in and out fast in Athens, Muscle Shoals, Huntsville, Coleman on 2nd Avenue Northwest, and Skyland Boulevard in Tuscaloosa. Rent today from McCurry, 256-559-1003. That's 256-559-1003, or McCurryrentals.com. That's McCurryrentals.com. Hit it, Tyler.
The College Football Spotlight.
Sound the alarm. College football's upset alert.
We used to do the siren.
alarm's broken.
Yeah, I'm glad we got rid of the siren. We used to go after every pick.
People used to complain like I'm listening to you guys riding in my car, and I swear I look in the mirror every time you play one of those.
Yeah. All right, let's start off in the back. Let's go with Scott Forrester, almost the leader. He'll have some kind of graphic support now. Forrester, you covered last week, man. You had the Auburn Tigers, got in with that hook right there. It worked out good for you.
Got the cover. Should have had the win. Auburn blew it.
That's a good headline.
All right.
Coming back strong.
Good recap of the weekend.
Coming back strong this week. I'm going TCU.
Oh, the Horny Toads.
The Horny Toads.
Where are they?
Which aren't toads at all.
No.
They're actually lizards.
Wait a minute. Wait,
frogs, aren't they?
They've got Texas Tech.
Yeah, it's Texas Tech at TCU.
They're lizards? They're
yeah,
not.
It's the horned lizard. They call them the horned frogs.
Okay.
But it's a lizard.
All right.
Okay.
Learn something every day.
Interesting fact about the horned lizard / frog. To ward off potential predators, they shoot blood from their eyes.
Yeah, sometimes they incorporate that in the logo, Scott.
They do.
Look at that, though. Is that an actual photo or is that photoshopped?
That is an actual photo. This, however, is not. But this is what's going to happen this weekend. They are going to spray those Red Raiders.
Okay, here's the problem.
Yosemite Sam's going down. TCU.
TCU's favorite.
Are they?
That's going to be a problem.
They're
there.
a 7-point favorite. So we can't let you do this. Now, if you want to flip it around and pull that blood back.
Oh, they are. I read that wrong. That's unfortunate.
Oh, wow.
Scott falling apart.
Okay.
Is he disqualified or does he get to find another game that he can't build graphics?
We'll come back to it.
He gets to find another game.
Yes.
I'm not going to be able to whip up another AI creation that fast, though.
Very well presented.
All you have to do really quickly is just tell AI after that guy gets hit with blood, he pulls his pistols and shoots the crap out of the Horned Frogs and take the other side of that game.
That's right.
Just say Texas Tech.
You felt so confident about it. Just take the other side.
Yeah. It's a good way to win the upset alert if you start taking the favorites. All right. You or me, Lance?
I don't care.
Okay, I'll go next then. Listen, I know this much about this team.
Really?
Yep. But I know
good team to
this.
pick.
I know this. I know Mac Brown will put a little dip in. And he'll say, boys, this is my last year. And nothing Nothing I want to win more than the old.
Does Mac dip?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Sounds like you're missing teeth.
Yeah, really. Well, Mac's old.
Mac's old.
Yeah.
So am I. Go out there, boys. Nothing I want to win more than the golden stick up our ass game.
What?
Which is what happens when you got North Carolina and Virginia playing each other.
Sounds
Is
painful.
there two fan bases that walk around more than they think they're better than anybody? Stick up their ass game.
Yes.
I'm going to take North Carolina plus 5.5.
Look at them hills.
Give me the Tar Heels.
This is my worst drawing of the year. I didn't break, though. I didn't even know what direction I was going to go. But I don't know if you guys realize that Vanderbilt has a better SEC record than Alabama.
I do.
Ole Miss.
I'm aware.
Oklahoma.
Yep.
They have been in 5 one-possession games. Now I'm catching 19.5 against a Texas team that doesn't know what they're doing at quarterback. It's very bad V. But we're taking Vanderbilt. If I actually get the outright win there, I think this thing's over.
You don't think you're getting the outright win?
No. But I do think I think they can play them close.
Right.
Like this Vanderbilt team, the way Tim Beck calls the offense, man, I think their letdown game was last week against Ball State. Still won the game by double digits. Not impressive, but I think that will be for whatever Vanderbilt can get hyped up crowd-wise. They'll have it.
So last week.
Oh, hey, man.
Hey,
Bandit.
guys.
Welcome
How
back.
y'all doing?
Yeah.
Spit your dip out?
Yep.
Last week, I came on this show, and I told you that I like Georgia Tech straight up over Notre Dame. Then I'm watching ESPN's College Game Day. I don't know if you guys ever watch that show on Saturdays.
I do occasionally.
Yeah. They got this character on there called Pete the Camel. It's the weirdest costume. He looks nothing like a camel, but he reports on all the – and then I hear Pete the Camel, and that's what this show's going to, that they've just got, like, guys in bad costumes doing reports. And that guy tells me that Georgia Tech's quarterback's out for the game. Georgia Tech's leading rusher is out for the game. Georgia Tech's leading tackler is out for the game. And you know what I said? Why do I make these picks on Tuesday before I know all this information on Saturday, right? But I made the pick, so I'm going to stick with it. It was a loser. Don't think it should count against my record, but I lost it anyway. But we're going to bounce back this week. And I got a certified banger for you boys.
A banger?
A banger. It is an SEC game. It is an SEC game against two teams that have not played great all the time this year. In fact, one of these teams, a lot of people say, is the worst team in the Southeastern Conference.
Dun, 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 dun.
Nope, not the Auburn Tigers, Jim.
Okay. Sorry.
They are only a 2.5-point underdog at Kentucky. Does not meet the standards of our game.
Dun, 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 dun.
No, Jim, not Alabama. In spite of
some
two
racket,
losses.
some clanging.
Some clanging. Some clanging, boys. Hell, dear old state.
Oh.
Mississippi State catching 7.5. You know what happened at State?
They hurt their quarterback and found a better one?
They injured themselves into a much better offense.
They really did.
Michael Van Buren, who is the second most famous Van Buren in American history.
Maybe the most famous.
If he wins this game, look, Tyler knows what I'm talking about, Tyler. Why are you holding up 8 fingers, Tyler?
Van Buren boys.
The Van Buren boys.
He was the 8th president.
Yeah, he was the 8th president. He is actually the great-great-great-grandfather of Mississippi State quarterback Michael Van Buren.
Is he really?
Prove me wrong. 7.5 points. 7.5 points. That's almost 8, Tyler. That's why I'm going with this. I think it's poetic.
Yeah,
it's almost 8.
not. You just came up with that in your own head.
7.5 points. Michael Van Buren and the Van Buren boys held their old state. I might be getting 7.5 points, but just like Martin Van Buren when he was president of the United States, I don't need them. I don't need these states. I don't need these points. Held their old state straight up.
Little known fact about Van Buren's presidency, no national debt because of the SEC.
The
different SEC, right?
The Security and Exchange System.
Yeah, how about that? State plus 7.5 straight up.
What happened to, how did Van Buren go down?
Martin?
Yeah.
I'll have to look it up. Michael ain't going down yet. He's too good.
Who went down in the tub? Was it Taft?
It was the big
Garfield.
heavy guy.
Yeah, that was William Howard Taft.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Forster, she'll come up with a play here in this segment.
I'm going to find out about Van Buren's death too.
Yeah, I wanted to. I just wanted to come up with another dead wood here. When you said Pete the Camel, our boy Tyler, who doesn't know who Pete Thamel is, started Googling Pete the Camel over there to see who would pop up.
All that would pop up is the character from Sting. I had no idea who Pete the Camel was. Martin Van Buren died at his home, aged 79, of asthma.
Oh, man, that's a bad way to go. They probably didn't have inhalers back then.
I have
they?
asthma.
Yeah, but I mean, I bet they didn't have inhalers. Yeah, that's a bad way to go.
that'd be tough, man.
He's from Kinderhook, New York.
How about that?
How about that?
Wonder what Kinderhook's famous for.
I don't know.
Martin Van Buren.
Martin Van Buren, in all likelihood. Yeah.
That's a pretty good run, though, back in the 1800s to make it to almost 80.
Yeah, 79.
I mean, that's outliving life expectancy. Of course, they didn't have processed food back then, did they?
They did
Or
not.
4 Locos.
they also didn't have penicillin.
That's true.
Or maybe they did.
When did penicillin hit the market?
I would think that this would be like a wartime thing.
1928 by Alexander Fleming.
We didn't have penicillin until 1928.
Yeah, it changed everything. Penicillin.
Boy, he was a hero for a lot of people. He was a hero for spring break back in the day.
Because there was some of that stuff that was for life before penicillin, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you
just die of strep throat.
Yeah, you die of a lot of things. Yeah. But penicillin, man, that's a game changer.
Yeah, especially if you're...
I think I'm allergic to it.
You're allergic
like
to
every time
penicillin?
I go to a doctor or something, they're like, are you allergic to anything? Maybe penicillin.
You know what you're more allergic to? Whatever penicillin kills.
Yeah. If you let the wrong people in the West Wing.
I'd roll the dice on that one.
Yeah. All right. Now Forrester is back on the other side now, understanding the rules.
Graphic support, Scott.
Forrester, how are you, man?
I'm disappointed in myself.
Yeah, we all make mistakes, Scott.
I didn't mean to call you out, but I had to.
No, I mean, Lance is just a...
No, it was deserved. It was deserved.
Yep.
So now I have no graphical support. I'm just going to go with one I would like to see.
Okay.
Give me Navy.
In the Navy.
I don't believe in it. I don't think it's going to happen, but I want to see
Well,
it.
this will be the one you hit because you put way too much thought and work into the other one, and now you just randomly pick one. Those are the ones we normally hit here on the show.
We'll know it's your season if you stumble into a winner right here with Navy.
That's 13.5. Am I right about that, Scotty? Is that what you're... Yeah, 13.5. In New York City, or really in New Jersey, across the river. They're playing at the Meadowlands.
Yep, just down the road from Kinderhook, New York.
Just down the road from where the Van Buren boys launched there in Kinderhook.
All right, so that's our upset alert today, brought to you by our friends at McCurry.
You rent from McCurry? Start at McCurryRentals.com. McCurryRentals.com.
Yep, and also by our friends with the Pants Store. If you're getting ready for all these upsets, maybe it's not your home team that you're going to go watch in Tuscaloosa this weekend. Maybe you'll see your home team win with new great gear from our friends at the Pants Store. Your game day headquarters, PantsStore.com. PantsStore.com. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Alabama and Auburn quarter zips, and also the hats and the polos, and now the sweatshirts and sweaters that you get there. And ladies, don't forget all the dresses and the sweaters you need there for the fall fashion. Free alteration, free gift wrapping. Gentile Antigua, Cutter Buck, Horn Legend, New Balance, Hoka, just some of the name brands you get right there. Nothing says Roll Tide and War Eagle like the Pants Store, PantsStore.com. A couple of notes from college football. Curtis Rourke, the much talked about quarterback of Indiana, improving with his thumb, could be ready for Michigan State a week from now. Still doubtful versus Washington this week, but they haven't ruled him out for Washington yet.
Well, I don't know how he's going to play in this game because they were talking about coming back from Michigan State. The good news is Taven Jackson was that good. Now, how different is it with him knowing that he would be QB1? And how different is it Washington, who's got one of the better defenses in college football, preparing for him? You obviously want Rourke and that experience out there. It's funny, I heard somebody talking about, man, get-ins for this game with game day being there, $125.
$125.
Oh, wow.
Let's get into Indiana, which is not a bad seat because that is a high school stadium. I mean,
wouldn't get you parking at the World Series this weekend. Travis Hunter has re-aggravated his shoulder as he continues to
I'll tell you where this
pain.
becomes a problem for Travis Hunter. And, you know, you can make the excuse if you're representing Travis Hunter, and he is a tough kid. But now we're talking about back-to-back years where he's had significant injuries, where he's been out time. So I'm just saying, does it affect maybe a team really taking a look at him and saying, okay, he can be a shutdown corner. We can use him in some offensive packages every now and then. But do we really want to take him to the top 5 if he's going to miss 3 or 4 games a year?
If you limit his play on one side, which side would you limit? The offense, right? Like if you're Colorado, if you're Deion and you're just like, I've got to protect him, he's that good a player. You limit his.
I limit offense based on the fact that you have, Jimmy Horn Jr. and you've got,
That's right.
Will Shepard. You've got other
Shedeur makes
weapons.
other people better.
Yeah. And I think at the next level, though, what is more important? Like a dominant receiver in the NFL is so key.
They are. At 5-2, I'm curious to what you guys think their ceiling is record-wise. They're 5-2 right now, okay?
Okay, pull up the schedule on the other side. Let's go through this. We'll get through a couple of things. We'll do that. We'll do the 5 best teams in the SEC right now, all that coming up on the other side. Because I'd like to talk about, as I have written down right here, Colorado's path to the playoffs.
I mean, it's alive.
It's alive. It's alive. So, too, is Daniel Moore Art. Daniel A. Moore cutting up great new pieces of work, even as games are happening. That's what he's done with Deuces Wild when Alabama beat Georgia, now number 2 in the country, Georgia. Ryan Williams and Xavier Brown made the big plays in Deuces Wild. That's the way it's going to look as he pencils that out there. Part of the Daniel Moore Art family, danielmoreart.com. So, too, is The Legend, a tribute to Coach Nick Saban and his 6 national championship seasons. Pre-order either one or both right now and get the 2025 calendar, also available by using the coupon code TNR. Get you 20% off that calendar right now. DanielMoreArt.com. DanielMoreArt.com.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trussville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing. If renting is putting a dent in your bank account, here's your sign from the universe that it's time to buy a new home. And who better to help you through the ins and outs of home buying than our friends at Mortgage Right. With Mortgage Right, you don't have to worry about becoming a short-notice mortgage expert because they do all the heavy lifting for you. They're trusted mortgage professionals, and they'll help you choose the right mortgage option and stand by your side every step of the way. Visit mortgageright.com/TNR to buy before renting runs you dry. That's mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
What's up, everybody? This is Mayor Woodfin, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. The McDonald's Magic City Classic, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Legion Field October 26th. Watch the parade fill the streets of Birmingham. Turn up at the Coors Light tailgate party, enjoy the bands at halftime, and of course, bring that magic into the stadium. The best seats are selling fast. Tickets start at just $25. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at magiccityclassic.com.
Join the Adams Beverages team. They are hiring all positions, whether you have experience in the beer industry or not. Come to their open house October 23rd from 10 to 4, 141 Industrial Drive, Birmingham. A leader in the beer industry since 1937. AdamsBeverages.net.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the Next Round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the Next Round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
The World Wide Web is a large place. Find all your favorite people and content in the same spot. NextRoundLive.com is full of wonderful tidbits about the show you know and love. Find our gear, listen to your favorite personalities, follow our socials, and enjoy your trip to NextRoundLive.com.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Join me and CBS sports analyst Brandon Marcello for the Middle Eight each Monday at 8 a.m. as we look back at the weekend of college football from the SEC to the top 25 of the college football playoff. It's the Middle Eight, presented by MyBookie.ag, code Next Round.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
This hour of the show brought to you always by the one location we just tell you got to go to for lunch at some point, right? It's a destination lunch location. It's Champy's Chicken, Highway 119 in Alabaster. Sterling is there. He's been there for over 10 years at that one location. Some of the employees started with him on day one there. Megan and the crew still there working with Sterling. That's what kind of boss he is, what kind of great environment it is, whether you're getting it to go, dining in, date night, tailgate, doesn't matter. It's all right there at Champy's Chicken. Brined overnight, cooked to order, Mississippi Delta tamales, and so much more. Hey, don't skip on that Conecuh sausage, cheese, and pickle plate as an appetizer. That'll get that engine cranked right there at Champy's Chicken, champyschicken.com, Highway 119 in Alabaster. A couple of notes here. First off, we didn't get to it yesterday. Taylor had fun with this. The Instagram account of 24/7 got hacked. She was texting us because for a brief moment she thought Quinn Ewers was calling it quit, shutting it down early as the hacked post indicated, and was going to leave Texas and get ready for the NFL draft. Ends up 24/7 was just hacked. First person I saw to clean it up was our buddy Chip Brown saying, hey, I've heard from 24/7 they got hacked. That's not, obviously it's not true.
Yeah.
Quinn's not shutting it down.
Chip, who works for 24/7 Sports, so you would think he would know, right? Yep. It seemed like that graphic was out there and everybody in the world was tweeting the graphic and saying 24/7 had this up and deleted.
It just made no sense.
No,
like the game you're going to get benched and you look so bad in against that Georgia defense, you're going to shut it down and prepare for the NFL draft.
I don't think that's what the NFL wants to see. And by the way, his backup came in, and how good did he look?
Not good.
Arch Manning is not good enough to win them a championship.
No. So I mean, I don't think.
But Ty Simpson could come in right.
That's what I've been told.
Yeah, he may be able to. I'm not going to diss Ty, but you just don't know.
In the Texas aspect, I don't think Quinn Ewers is in danger of losing that job permanently.
No.
So, I mean, it didn't make a whole lot of sense, the report anyway.
Matthew McConaughey had a response to the bottle throwing.
By the way, the Uber Eats commercial is one of the dumbest commercials I've ever seen.
But how much do you think they have to pay McConaughey to be in a commercial?
$1 million.
$1 million? Only $1 million?
You think it's only $1 million?
No, I'm saying like per commercial that they do.
Yeah.
Like if Uber Eats does 3 with McConaughey, he's probably getting $3 to $5 million. Maybe more.
What's he make for a role now?
$30 million.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot more work. Obviously.
Matthew McConaughey sent this out. Longhorn Nation, and specifically our DKR student section. Electric on Saturday night. But let's get real about the bottle bombing, the field glitch we had. Not cool. Bogey move. Yeah, that call was BS, but we're better than that. Longhorn Nation knows how to show up, show out like no other, and still keep our class.
Dude, he is I'll tell you the biggest surprise of that, and I thought that he might get upset about, was nothing but water coming out of the stands. Like, where are the beer cans?
They were holding those.
Yeah, where are the miniatures?
Pay too much for the beer cans.
But I mean, literally, it was just water bottles everywhere. And I was
was.
just shocked that many students that deep in the game were drinking water.
Yeah, they're probably free water bottles.
It might have been a hot night. I don't know.
All right.
By the way, I think the beer was $18 a pop in Neyland.
That's a little steep.
Ice cream was free in the press box. Knoxville's one of those places that they have an ice cream provider.
Yeah.
And they have 2 big refrigerators, and they restock it the whole game. So I had an ice cream sandwich. I had, what's it called, where it's got the little waffle comb and the...
Oh, the drumstick?
The drumstick.
Yeah, those
had
are good.
That.
Yeah, those are good.
I do like that.
Maybe it was just with tip. I think it was like 35 and change for 2.
Wow, that's steep. The problem with the drumstick is the nuts fall everywhere. And I know that's a big issue for you.
Nah. I hold them with both hands.
Oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, you just put the cone in between so you can catch the nuts.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's
good
right.
idea.
Yep. And then you just like.
Then you got all the nuts to put in your
throw 'em
mouth.
up.
Yeah, that's a good
them.
idea.
Yep. Yeah. Oh, I thought you were going on a diatribe.
So
about
I don't
nuts.
know.
I was just saying that's the problem with the
I don't know if we
drumstick.
were going to do Colorado's path. I think you guys will find this interesting, though, because when we were in a 14 playoff world, at this time, when we're coming up on the end of October, how many teams were in the mix to get into a 14 playoff?
6.
How many teams do you think I've gone through and I've gotten the mix to get into a 12-team playoff right now?
In a 12-team playoff, I would say you're up to 22.
At least 18.
I've got 36 teams.
36?
Now, if we pull I've got potentially 8 teams in the Group 5 for one spot. If you pull those out with the Power 4 and Notre Dame, I've got 28 spots still available, which is pretty crazy, which makes us really, really excited.
Yeah, it does. I agree.
It has been better. But let's do Colorado path first, because I think we had them as a 2 to 4 win team.
We did. We're wrong.
Back in the day. Colorado's playoff hopes really rely, though, I still believe, on them having to win the Big 12.
Yes.
They got to be Big 12 champions.
I would agree because they've already got 2 losses. Sneaky good game Saturday night against Cincinnati. Do not sleep on this game. 9:15 late night ESPN against Cincinnati. That's going to be a good game.
Yeah, Cincinnati's going to beat them, in my opinion.
Okay.
Satterfield's done a really good job with this program, and they're sitting at 5-2. They miss a tying field goal against Texas Tech final second that would have sent that game into overtime. And their other loss, they blew a 26-7 lead at Pitt. So this is a team that could easily be undefeated. I think they're a better team than Colorado. So I think they lose that game, but we shall see. But that's
any
very
talk
winnable.
about the playoffs is over with that loss.
Oh, yeah.
We're done. At Texas Tech, who got destroyed by Baylor Saturday. That was such a puzzling outcome.
Wait, before you move on, Colorado, so that would eliminate them from being in the Big 12 championship game?
Well, that would be 2 Big 12 losses. It's going to be awful hard to get in with 2 Big 12 losses.
Yeah, because you have 2 teams that won't play in the regular season. Iowa State and BYU don't match up, and they're both undefeated.
Okay.
Yeah, it's going to make it really, really difficult.
Because for a lot of these people, it is all about the winning the conference
Oh,
championship.
yeah, that's their only path ends to win the conference championship. They don't have a good enough out-of-conference win.
But I actually, if you ask me, I think they lose both of those games.
Oh, at Texas Tech as well?
Yeah.
They play Utah. It's a good time to get Utah so bad they've had to fire their offensive coordinator.
Yeah, Andy Ludwig steps down, did not fire.
He did tap out.
He steps down.
But it has been awful. I mean, they've lost 3 consecutive games, and under Kyle Whittingham, you thought, or at least I thought, and I think you guys agreed, this was an opportunity, Utah going from Pac-12 to Big 12, that maybe they could become the alpha of this conference, and now they've lost 3 consecutive games.
At Kansas, who's had a terrible year.
Yep.
Kansas is 2-5, 1-3 in conference, and then at Oklahoma State, who's had a terrible year, though they showed a little resurgence on Friday night.
The only team that is yet to win a game in the Big 12.
Yeah, I know it's baffling. I mean, those are all winnable, and they're all losable. I mean, that's who Colorado is. But I mean, if you told me they won out, I would. It's not the most surprising thing you can tell me today.
But that's why I think the 2 conference losses, other than the 2 that's unbeaten. There's a chance you got several 2-loss teams.
Well, if I'm the Big 12, there are 2 teams that I want representing us just for the eyeballs, and that's either BYU, an undefeated BYU team, because they do have pretty big alumni association out there, and the other would be Colorado, because I know the Colorado numbers have gone down, but you get them back in a playoff with Dion.
Yep. Some meaningful games. Make that Big 12 championship game must see.
Their Big 12 hopes are tough because they've lost to Kansas State, who's only got 1 loss. And then, as Lance said, they don't play BYU or Iowa State, and Iowa State and BYU don't play one another. And all those teams are in front of Colorado. So getting the playoffs is almost impossible.
There are 6 teams alive in the Big 12 for the college football playoff.
And that makes it fun. That was the reason why the automatic bids were always fun. I've always felt like you guys were anti-auto bids. Now you like them.
Nope. I don't like them. I am anti-auto bid.
Well, why would you not like
them?
them?
No, I've never been anti-auto bid.
Why would you not like them, Brown? There's 6 teams that still have an automatic path to the playoffs.
Because I want the best 12 teams in the playoffs. And auto bids do not get you the best 12 teams.
Your problem there is it's all SEC.
Well, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I like the auto bid.
Yeah, I like the auto bid too. I mean, it makes those games more important. It gives us quality games in the regular season to get a playoff berth.
I get it. I mean, you got to sacrifice things somewhere. You're not going to convince me on this one.
I mean, 4-3 in the NFL. I mean, for my fan base and Forster's fan base, we got a big game coming up this week.
But you're saying I'd rather the regular season be the best it can be than the playoffs be the best it can be. That's what you're saying.
I think the playoffs can still be really good.
Not the best it can be, though. You just said really good. It's not the best it can be.
Brown, you get to a point where the 10th or 11th team, if it's just all from the SEC and or the Big Ten, do those teams deserve to be in the playoffs? Have they earned their way into the playoffs? Do we really know if Alabama is there that they're one of the 12 best teams in the country if we don't have the auto bids eating up some of those spots?
Yeah, but I know an auto bid may not be.
Well, I'll tell you this: if we just went best teams, I think
you said Alabama may not be.
The SEC would be 6 or 7 getting in this year,
and I want the best playoff I can get. I don't want blowouts.
We'll do our top 5. You're going to get blowouts. You get blowouts in the regular season.
Huh? You do, but I don't want them in the playoffs.
We just had Georgia and Texas, 2 of the best teams in the country. It was a blowout.
Yeah, it wasn't a blowout.
It was a blowout.
That was not a blowout.
That game really was never in doubt.
It was never in doubt, but you can't call that a blowout.
I do think we'll have tremendous games in the postseason.
23-0 at one point.
Well, that's at one point.
They'd have to.
Was Alabama Georgia a blowout? That was 30-7 at the half.
Yeah,
that wasn't far from a blowout.
Yeah, but they came back and took the lead. Texas never came back.
Exactly. It wasn't a blowout.
I tell you, though, Georgia is a team. When they put it together for a half, watch out.
Yeah, but they can't do the whole
second
game.
half against Bama, second half against Clemson, first half against Texas.
Cladd is right. They had a bunch of short fields in the first half.
They did.
That's why it wasn't a blowout.
A lot of compliments on the Cladd interview yesterday. Show being brought to you by our friends at New York Butcher Shop. Always a compliment when you go there.
Yeah, trying to figure out tonight, cooking out or going out to eat. If we cook out 100%, it's New York Butcher Shop. We'll get in and see Jim at one of those 2 great locations, the original Cahaba Heights, newest location in Greystone. And if you're just driving around looking for a great lunch or to pick up a sandwich on the way home, their sandwich stations are fantastic. Smoked meats, fresh meats, deli sandwiches, catering, great wines and desserts. New York Butcher Shop, one-stop dinner shop, rare quality, well-done service. Get in, see Jim and that great staff.
And our friends at Inverness Country Club, Brownie, before we give you the top 5 teams in the SEC, in our opinion.
They got a great event. I'm wearing my Inverness shirt today. ICCalabama.com is the website. You can get all this information right there. They're part of the Heritage Golf family, and Heritage is having a massive event out there. There are 3 things I'm going to tell you about. I got all the papers right here. I'm going to start with Saturday morning, 6:30. It is a dry try relay event, try relay event. So it's like the triathlon, but you don't do the swimming portion. Dry try. It is going to be fun. You can see more there at ICCalabama.com. There's also a mixed doubles round robin tournament in tennis Saturday starting at 10 a.m., limited to the first 32 teams. And then Sunday it caps off with a 12:30 shotgun start there on the golf course, open to members or non-members. ICCalabama.com, ICCalabama.com. Inverness Country Club, great place to join, part of the Heritage Golf family, and all of that information available at ICCalabama.com.
All right. So when it comes to the SEC,
oof, that's tough, man.
The 5 best, cut it off at 5.
Well, I'll be consistent because I was asked to do this for 3340 Sunday night, so I'm not going to do one for them and do a different one here. So are you guys okay if I just go with my 3340 one?
Sure.
My top 5.
Everybody's already seen it, but go ahead.
Yeah, but so I should change it because everybody's already seen it?
No, you should change it, but go ahead and repeat it. If you happen to be one of the few people that missed the Blitz on Sunday night.
It's the Zone.
The Zone on Sunday night. My bad. They do the Blitz.
Did
That's
you see
football.
You see his sarcasm?
I do see his sarcasm.
One of those few that missed it.
No, I'm building up.
Yes.
The Sunday night show.
Number 5.
It is the most thing I hear about Brown when we go around is man, I watch you all the time on Sunday nights. You hear that a lot.
Another shot at me. Number 5, Tennessee. I had Tennessee Volunteers, number 5. Number 4, LSU.
Wait a second. You got Tennessee at 5. I got to write these down now. Okay, LSU.
Everybody's already seen it. LSU number 4. Texas A&M number 3.
Oh, I didn't notice this when I was watching Sunday night. You had A&M 3?
Texas number 2.
Texas 2.
And Georgia number 1. That's my top 5.
Did you just go by the standings? What'd you do there?
Oh, yeah. Wins and losses are somewhat important to this. Yes.
That's a bogus list, Brown. I'm going to call it out here. That's a bogus list.
And your issue with it is what?
You've got A&M and LSU ahead of Tennessee.
A&M and LSU are better football teams.
How about this?
You got A&M and LSU ahead of Alabama?
They're better football teams than
I
Alabama.
don't have Tennessee in my top 5.
What is your problem with A&M and LSU?
Who have they beaten, Brownie?
Who's Alabama beaten, Jim? They beat
the Georgia Bulldogs.
And they've lost to Vanderbilt and Tennessee.
Yeah, but they beat the Georgia Bulldogs.
Who's Tennessee beaten? They've beaten to Alabama that has lost to Vanderbilt earlier, and Tennessee has lost to Arkansas. Arkansas.
Just look at the standings. Hey, don't worry, Speaks. Just look at the standings. That'll be my top 5. Who you got, LT?
Pissed in your Cheerios this morning. You've been on edge.
Give me a better list. Give me a better list.
I am playing this as the best I've seen these teams. I'm not going to go with the worst I've seen these teams.
Okay, I like that.
So I'm going to go 5
That's
A&M.
very positive.
5 A&M.
Okay.
4 LSU. 3 Alabama that just lost to a Tennessee team not in my top 5. 2 Texas. 1 Georgia. And again, if you're like, oh, well, Tennessee just beat them on the field. Well, Alabama just beat Georgia, and I think Georgia's the best team in the SEC.
Yours has Alabama in it, so Jim will approve it.
No. I was about to say, unlike Brown, he never disagrees with you anymore. I will disagree with you, Lance. I personally don't think Alabama should be ahead of Tennessee.
Why did you bash me for having them out?
Should Alabama be ahead of Georgia?
They did beat
no,
Georgia.
they shouldn't be ahead of Georgia.
But see,
they were up 28 on Georgia.
They were.
But Georgia came back, took the lead, probably should have won that game.
Alabama, to me, controlled the whole game in Tennessee as bad as they played. Alabama was a better team.
I would tend to agree with you.
And they were coached a lot worse. They made all the mistakes.
I did feel like Alabama still is the better team than Tennessee. I don't want to quote the great Southern laureate Hugh Freeze, but 9 out of 10 times I think Alabama would beat Tennessee.
Oh, I think Alabama would love to see Tennessee down the road, much like Georgia would probably love to see Alabama.
But, I mean, you can do this because I think Alabama is the better team than Tennessee, but I also think Georgia's the better team than Alabama. And you've got to ignore one on-field result to believe that, right?
Yeah, and the tough thing for me was A&M and LSU because one of them is going to win this week. I don't feel great about this game because I think both – I think LSU's actually playing better right now, but I don't know.
LSU's playing better than who?
A&M. Just a little bit because they seem like.
Yeah, I mean, we'll find out Saturday. It is a coin toss.
Has kind of become a problem a little bit.
He has been. That's a coin toss game to me. I mean, it's played in College Station, so I probably think A&M will win the game. But, I mean, when you're right now in the SEC putting a team third or fourth, that is a complete coin toss. You know what? I meant to tell you, that's the way Saban picked Texas. I forgot to tell you that. You weren't watching. He said, I can't believe I've got to pick between my two of the best assistants I've ever had, Kirby Smart and Steve Sarkisian. So I'm just going to flip a coin. And he flips a quarter and goes, Texas, which means he was already picking Texas. They had the graphic built already.
Yeah.
But
hey, by the way, I think LSU is in the playoff if they win this game.
They are.
Yeah.
No, because then the Alabama game becomes much less important for them.
Yeah, they could lose that. I still think they beat. Well, I mean, they do have Vanderbilt coming up.
I know. You got to keep saying that. The interesting thing is, Dunaway, if LSU, before you give us your top 5, if LSU loses to A&M, Alabama LSU is absolutely 100,000% an elimination game. I mean, you're playing for your playoff life. Zero doubt about it in that game.
I think it's that way this weekend for Alabama and Missouri.
Oh, it is for Alabama and Missouri, but I'm talking about Alabama and LSU because to Lance's point, if LSU wins this week over A&M, it is going to be difficult, even with a Bama loss, for them to miss the playoffs.
I think ABC is even using that in a promo, a playoff elimination game, Missouri at Alabama.
Dear Lord. They're trying to sell that thing hard.
I mean, I think they really are.
I mean, if you watch Missouri.
You know what? I would
must-win game, maybe. I forget how they phrase it.
Missouri, I don't think anybody watches that and thinks they will factor into the playoffs.
And I would almost say it about A&M, but A&M has to go to Columbia, South Carolina.
That is a tricky game for them.
That becomes a really difficult game, which I think would be around a pick right now. A&M maybe 1 or 2. I don't even really consider going to Auburn tough anymore. And then Texas. But if they beat LSU, I mean,
they're a one-loss team, and
that one loss is Notre Dame, who everybody views as being in.
And so, I mean, A&M's got a mulligan in their pocket if they can win this one.
Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama, and the winner of the LSU A&M game.
Is who? Is your top 5?
Is my 5th, yeah.
So
Georgia, Texas, Tennessee, Alabama,
and the winner of the LSU Texas A&M game. That's my top 5.
All these very subjective. Very difficult to do, by the way.
It is.
Much like, hey, let's stack the AFC right now. It's the same thing.
Our friends at Odie's
I love that you get on me for saying A&M's better than LSU, and you won't even pick one. You just got to say, I got to see who wins the game first.
No, I just that you had LSU and A&M 3 and 4. That's where, I mean.
That's 2 one-loss teams. They lost on week 1, and both. Would you say both of them have gotten considerably better since week 1?
Texas A&M, yeah, both of them have.
Yeah, both of
Texas
them. I think both
for
of them
sure,
have gotten considerably better since week 1.
Texas A&M for sure.
That was an impressive win by LSU Saturday night. I
was driving.
You were driving. You didn't get to see it.
Playing
I don't know
Arkansas
if you
on the
watched
road, 34-17, something like that.
24-10. They beat them by 10. Beat them 34-10. I'm sorry, beat them by 24 points on the road with Taylor Green playing. That was an impressive win.
Look, I think if you're looking for the most improved team in the SEC from week 1 to
It's
right
LSU.
now, it's LSU.
I think A&M may be number 2.
Who has actually gotten worse? Oklahoma, Alabama, Ole Miss,
Auburn.
It might
were
be
they good at all?
Could be Oklahoma.
Oklahoma's the worst.
They're pretty bad.
Yeah. But Jackson Arnold's back, man.
I don't know if Oklahoma was either any good.
Were they ever any good?
Yeah.
I mean, what if Arnold comes back and I mean, we put a lot of problems on Brent Venables here. I mean, he did lose his top 5 wide receivers. And I don't know how many of them are back, if any, this week. But Jackson Arnold coming back, you get back to the norm, you reset this thing, and you're on the road at Ole Miss. That could be a fun game.
I mean, this would have 10, 15 years ago in college football, you have a true freshman, struggling, or a freshman struggling, whether it was Jackson Arnold or Nico, you could understand that. I just didn't think both of these guys would struggle to the level they are.
No.
I mean, Van Buren's playing better than both of those guys.
We thought Jackson Arnold would be a given that he would be good, and we thought Nico was wait and see, and neither one of them have lived up to expectation. Show being brought to you by our friends at Odie's. It's not Wednesday yet, but it's coming soon.
Yeah, tomorrow we'll be out at the original location in Crestline for Odie's Team Trivia. Me, Brown, Will Haver. Come join us. Get there a little early. Enjoy great food from Rodney Davis. I'm looking at those cheese fries right now with the ranch on the side.
How good is that?
Oh, my gosh. The delicious wings. Every time wings get dropped on a table when we're doing
they
trivia,
smell so good.
They smell absolutely incredible. For lunch or dinner, 2 locations. I mentioned the original in Crestline, newest location in Edgewood. Ice cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. It's Odie's Tavern.
And our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. Point spreads happening. Got games tonight. Got the NBA rolling. We told you earlier at mybookie.ag, betting favorites to win the NBA championship. Celtics, Thunder, Knicks. I've lived long enough to see the Thunder second and the Knicks third in the NBA favorites going into the season.
You've lived long enough to see that. Alabama, a 13.5-point favorite right now over Missouri. They're at mybookie.ag, 13.5-point home favorite. Lance's upset alert right there. You see him at 19.5. You can play it at 19. Texas favored 19 on the road in Nashville. Always difficult to go to Nashville this time of year and get a win. Texas A&M, 2.5-point home favorite over LSU in the battle for the 5th spot in Dunaway's power ranking. We'll see who can take that home.
Battle for Dunaway's Golden Five.
That's right. And Auburn, a 2.5-point road dog in Lexington. You can play all those games at mybookie.ag. Code next round when you sign on at mybookie.ag. You make an initial deposit to play with, right? You use code next round. They double that deposit. That is free money for you to play with at mybookie.ag. Mybookie.ag, code next round. Double your initial deposit. Mybookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag, code next round.
A couple of sound bites here of interest. Give me 7 and 8 if you can, Tyler. Number 7 first. Dan Lanning will coach as the 5th team to be number 1 in the country this year. And it's been a while. What was it, about 12 years since Oregon's been number 1?
Something like that,
yeah. Dan Lanning's got him back at number 1. So, Dan, what's it like being number 1?
How do you have your team not care about the number 1 ranking and avoid the discussion and the attention that comes with it?
I think it's really simple for us when our messaging hasn't changed the entire year. You don't sit halfway through a meal and say you're done eating when there's still a lot of food left on the plate. That's where we're at. We're at the midpoint of the season. We're not done yet. There's a lot of things that we still want to accomplish. So that doesn't really matter for us.
In terms of staying number 1, like every team's had their reckoning at number 1.
They're going to stay number 1 until we get to at least conference championship.
Yeah, because they play one more ranked team, and it is this coming Saturday against Illinois. Their remaining games after that, at Michigan, against Maryland, at Wisconsin, who's played better football.
Yeah, I think Wisconsin is their trickiest game left.
Yeah. Even over Illinois at home this week.
Just because that game is in Camp Randall. And look, if Wisconsin, who, by the way, defensive, Phil Longo's offense is coming together a little bit, but their defense is really what's carrying them the last 3 weeks.
Speaking of, we talked Mississippi State injured themselves into a better quarterback situation. It didn't happen immediately against Alabama.
I could see flashes with the Braden Locke kid, though.
But Wisconsin has gotten better at quarterback after the injury. Defense is good. That was my second choice. Almost went with upset alert. Wisconsin at home with Penn State this weekend. That could be a fun football game.
Yeah, and
in prime time.
I'm not sold that Penn State is a top 5 team. I saw them down 14 the majority of the game against USC,
who's bad.
Who's not good. Well,
so Illinois, I don't think they've got a chance this week.
Yeah, I mean they're a 3 touchdown underdog
at Michigan. I think Oregon's going to be a 7 to 10 point favorite there.
And do you guys agree we'll see Orgy sooner than later?
Yes, it doesn't matter really. Do you think it matters?
No,
probably not. No.
Yeah, so I think Oregon, outside of a crazy upset, is going to finish 12-0, and then I think it's kind of predictable. They'll get a one-game Big Ten championship rematch against Ohio State.
That's
Ohio
right.
State will probably beat them in the rematch.
Yeah, probably so. Maybe should have beaten them in the original game.
Then they'll be number 5 seed Oregon, and then
they'll destroy
Ohio
a
State will
12
be a
seed.
number 1 or 2.
Yeah.
And then we're off to the races with the playoffs. Can't wait for that.
Oregon hosting Navy.
Did you guys watch any of the UConn Wake Forest game?
You know, Jim, I missed that.
You're
one.
kidding, right?
Was it on the CW?
I am kidding. You know nobody watched the game when it takes Tuesday before the good soundbite comes out from
Tuesday.
that. But Jim Mora Jr. on a Tuesday.
I forgot Jim Mora Jr. is the UConn coach, if I'm being honest with you.
He is. By the way, he's got a little hoodie on, not a collared shirt. Yeah. He's got a little hoodie on.
I don't hate that hat either.
You think if you took him back to, was it 04, 05? No, when he was in the NFC Championship game coaching Michael Vick against Donovan McNabb and the Eagles. Hey, dude, in 20 years you're going to be the head coach at UConn, and it's not the good UConn. It's not the Randy Edsel UConn. It's the really, really bad
I'm
UConn.
coaching basketball now?
You know what he would say? He would be like, ooh, did she have a fake ID? Is that how I'm at UConn now?
We talk about Lane Kiffin falls forward, and Lane Kiffin gets better job. He's gotten worse job,
He really
worse
has.
job, worse
Let's go
job.
backwards for him.
All right, here we
have a fake ID is one of the best lines you've ever uttered on this show.
So apparently, I don't even know what the controversial call was.
Well, I mean, who saw it?
UConn lost in a controversial call at the end to Wake Forest. And keep in mind, this is important to the story. They're an independent. Apparently, all their games, the conference they're playing uses their officials,
you don't want
ACC
that.
officials.
Yeah.
And Jim Mora Jr. Was not happy.
I'm proud of them for fighting back. We've got to make sure that we put ourselves in a position where it doesn't come down to one play where an ACC team makes a horseshit call against an independent. And that's up to us to play better at the start of the game so it doesn't come down to that call, which was holding and PI. And that's what I told them, and we'll come back and we'll fight. So it's on us to play better earlier, but it'd sure be nice if it was a level playing field. Yeah, it was a hold and a PI. Hold and a PI. Here's your explanation. ACC versus independent. There's your explanation, Dom. It's pretty fucking simple. All right, thanks.
Does the ACC not know you can pick up a flag now?
You know the benefit of
They could have picked it up, right?
You know the benefit of not being in a conference. You can't get fined for bitching about the officiating.
That is true.
There's that one benefit.
Hey, was that a home game or a road game for? I guess it doesn't matter. Not enough fans there for UConn to throw water bottles on the field and get a review on that.
They lost 23-20. That was a road game. Well, how are they using ACC officials at a road game? Like, if it's your game, can't you go contract with another conference? I guess all the conferences have their guys working that day, right? Like, I mean, it's your home game. You should be able to pick the officials. How do you just settle with ACC?
What, they were at home?
Yeah, it was at UConn.
Contracts, a lot of times when the SEC play out-of-conference games, they take the road game, they take SEC officials, and then home games is the Big Ten or the ACC.
They should have just hired the old Pac-12 officials.
That's right. I think some conferences did.
Hey, guys, we're not doing games right now.
The guy sitting out on the street corner.
We got one.
I'll officiate for money coming up.
They turn it over on downs. I guess he's talking about a 4th and 3 at their own 43, or excuse me, a 4th and 8 at their own 43.
Go back and watch it tonight and then tell us about it.
I'm going to pass on that, but that was Dunaway, that was their final play of regulation. So they must not have gotten a call there. It must have been holding and interference, as he said.
I don't care. I just wanted to see the soundbite. Once the soundbite was over, I'm ready to move on.
They're not in your top 5 independents, UConn?
They are not.
They are 4 and 3.
Trash coming up on the other side. That means they'll go to a bowl game that I won't watch probably. True, but I'll probably bet on it and not know anything about either side.
Are you starting to spray the board like old
yes, he is.
Jimmy Mudpuddle?
I reloaded my bookie to start the year, and I reloaded my bookie week 5.
Code next round.
And right now I've got 42 cents in there right now. So, yeah, probably so.
You going to do a 42-cent parlay tonight?
I should. I should do that in the NBA.
Is there not a minimum?
Yeah, there's got to be.
No, not in my
bookie, man. They're
Yeah.
customer service. MyBookie.ag.
That is true. Like local bookmakers, I think it's like $50 minimum.
Yeah,
so that's good that you
MyBookie.ag,
can do
42
whatever.
cents.
Yeah, you bring whatever you got to the table.
I'm gonna fire up a parlay tonight. All money lines in the NBA.
You're like
So 42 cents. Does that mean you're up for the season?
Oh, he is. Yeah. Wow. On his second deposit.
No.
Yes.
It means I'm 100 just on this deposit. It means I'm 199.
Yeah, I'll give you this analogy.
Down.
For the doomsday prepper out there, you're down to your final pack of saltines.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
I don't know how long you saved up for, but you got one more cracker.
Yeah, I'm not even sure I'm down to my final cracker, LT. I got the crumbs at the bottom of that pack that a couple of them have broke.
But you're not dead.
Don't even have a can of beans.
You're not dead, Jimmy.
Hey, I did. Last football season, I came back from $1.42 down and didn't have to reload all football season. So.
Well, I will tell you who's been absolute money is Todd Furman with his under-the-radar pick. That is now 5-0.
I can't wait till the weekend, Brad. I got to play tonight.
5-0.
Got to play tonight. Our friends at Champy's, they bring you this wonderful, wonderful show, an hour every day, champyschicken.com, champyschicken.com. I should have let Forrester pick my games for me because he's got the favorites as underdogs. That's a sure winner. Champy's Chicken's always a winner right there. All the sides, the wonderful Mississippi Delta recipe tamales, hand-cut chicken fingers, perfect for your tailgates, champyschicken.com.
Call the next round now at 205-734-0923.
What's up, everybody? This is Mayor Woodfin, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. The McDonald's Magic City Classic, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Legion Field October 26th. Watch the parade fill the streets of Birmingham. Turn up at the Coors Light tailgate party, enjoy the bands at halftime, and of course, bring that magic into the stadium. The best seats are selling fast. Tickets start at just $25. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MagicCityClassic.com.
Bright Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Hey, this is Matt Roth, the franchisee of Walk On Sports Bistro in Birmingham. With the kickoff of football season, come visit us at one of our 3 locations, Stadium Trace, Greystone, or Trustville. Come enjoy our scratch kitchen menu while watching one of our 80 TVs. Whether you're looking for a pre- or post-game celebration, game day, or date night, we've got you covered. It's all about the win at Walk On Sports Bistro. Walk On, where everybody needs a little playing time.
Hey, you feel that? That's fall in the air. And New Balance Birmingham got your fresh fall pair. To kick it during game time and sport from the sideline. Come together at New Balance Birmingham on Highway 280 right next to Chick-fil-A. New Balance Birmingham, we got now.
What's up, everybody? This is Mayor Woodfin, the mayor of the city of Birmingham. The McDonald's Magic City Classic, presented by Coca-Cola, returns to Legion Field October 26th. Watch the parade fill the streets of Birmingham. Turn up at the Coors Light tailgate party, enjoy the bands at halftime, and of course, bring that magic into the stadium. The best seats are selling fast. Tickets start at just $25. You don't want to miss it. Get your tickets now at MagicCityClassic.com.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the next round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. And MLS 2239, equal housing lender.
Our friends at Milo's Hamburger invites you to join them in the fight against hunger in our local communities by bringing non-perishable food items to your local Milo's, including canned goods. When you donate a canned good or any non-perishable food item, Milo's will give you a free drink. Together, we can make a difference.
Join the Adams Beverages team. They are hiring all positions, whether you have experience in the beer industry or not. Come to their open house October 23rd from 10 to 4, 141 Industrial Drive, Birmingham. A leader in the beer industry since 1937. AdamsBeverages.net.
Back with you on the next round as we roll on into a wonderful, wonderful week 9 of college football. Just on that ABC slate again. You line up Notre Dame Navy. That'll get some eyeballs, right?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it will?
Into Missouri, Alabama.
Well, the early slate is really, really bad this week. So Notre Dame Navy, especially if Navy can keep it close.
See, we're to that point. You say really, really bad. You don't think Nebraska, Ohio State could be interesting?
No. Did you watch Nebraska Saturday?
I did not get a chance to see it. I was working my butt off.
God,
but I kept getting
the final score.
I set an alert. You can set alerts, that every time there's a score, then you'll get a text.
Well, your phone died.
Or I was like, little T and I are working. We're shooting team arrivals and stuff, and my phone is blowing up. I finally look down. It's like, score,
Yeah.
Indiana. And I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Not even close. Oklahoma, Ole Miss could be fun. Nebraska, Ohio State.
Could be fun.
Notre Dame, Navy.
Oklahoma? Do you watch any of these teams?
Washington, Indiana, 11 o'clock in the Big Ten Network.
Those are the only two intriguing games, Navy and Notre Dame and Washington and Indiana.
I feel like a complete idiot right now. And I have said some dumb things in the history of this show and my career prior to this show. I say dumb things all the time. One of the dumbest things I said all summer long was, guys, I just got a feeling this Oklahoma-Ole Miss game is going to be important to the college football playoffs.
It is. If Ole Miss loses, they're out.
It is.
It doesn't matter if Ole Miss wins or not. They still got to play Georgia.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. Ole Miss ain't going to the playoffs.
They got to win this one. And, Nebraska, that was,
Was that tongue-in-cheek?
Indiana beat them, man.
Well, that was a kick to the balls for Matt Rule.
Because,
if you win that game, you only got one loss. Now there's a lot of hype surrounding that game.
It would be the most talked about game in the country this weekend.
It would be. Now, I don't know how it turned out because I didn't stick with that game. But at one point, Indiana was on pace to put more yards on Nebraska than any team had in school history. That's a proud history Nebraska's got. And I don't know how that ended up because I did not pay attention to the second half.
I feel really bad that I put that on Coach Rule. They're big fans of the show out there in Lincoln. And,
you had them on upset alert, and you only missed by 50.
I thought you would go Washington again. I thought you would just continue to fade Indiana.
It was on my list, but if I knew if I put the old purple and gold W on my thing this week, you would have said, Jim, you're just piling on the Indiana. You're just waiting for them to lose.
Hey,
but that's where I was going to go. And I came in this morning, went North Carolina.
I do think you'll be one of the few. Like a lot of times, I like chaos. I think it would be interesting if Bama lost and Texas lost this week. And I think a lot of people get caught up in games like that where they're pulling for the favorite to lose. I think a lot of people are pulling for this Indiana team.
I like chaos if it doesn't impact teams I like.
So Alabama.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Yeah.
I like all the SEC.
Yeah. Hey, let my believer in the mybookie.ag chat room is right. ABC has been destroying these triple headers. Whoever's picking games there, and they got another good one: Notre Dame, Navy, Alabama, Missouri, and LSU, Texas A&M.
Who can't buy one is CBS.
They can't, but their best game is 12th in rating or in total viewership this year. That's their best game.
But NBC's got Penn State, Wisconsin.
It's
tonight.
good.
It's a good game.
But I can't tell you how many Saturdays my main TV has started on ABC and has never changed.
Well,
I never have to change it.
I've got one that's over the air.
Yeah, I bet it looks good.
Yeah, just sit there. That's an over the air antenna.
Yeah.
Just
my main TV, there are several Saturdays where I started on ABC and it never changes.
But it's hurt the big NBC, the big ESPN games because Oklahoma, Ole Miss is about as good as they've had at 11. Then it's BYU, UCF, should be better. And then in primetime, it's Florida State, Miami. So are you not just same company there? Are you not just giving one to trade for the other?
You're robbing Peter to pay Paul, but it's all the same family.
Yeah.
Well, you got Cincinnati, Colorado late. That's a good ESPN game. Florida State, Miami. Florida State plays everybody close. Miami plays everybody close. I can't see, Lance, how Florida State plays them that close. Can you?
I can't either. No,
I can't either. But I wanted to do it though because you could have walked away and won. If Florida State pulled the upset,
done.
You'd have won upset alert.
Yeah, that's 26 points right there.
Yeah, it would have been big. All right, trash time brought
26 with a 5.
Oh, yeah, no, I got it.
All right. Trash brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right. Let's hit the big button, Tyler.
Tell me about the whistles.
The whistles got woo. When you want to woo, it's that woo woo. You know what I'm saying?
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Always proud to partner with our friends at Mortgage Right. They are here to help all the time. Veteran founded here in Birmingham, offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. No cost or obligation to find out what you qualify for. You get more information, go to their website, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. Pizza Hut, opening a brand new restaurant in New York City just for you. But it'll only be open for 2 days, and you still need to make a reservation.
Is that a pop-up?
Single person location, which comes with a 6-inch personal pan pizza.
Legitimate hut.
Will be at 50th and Center Boulevard in Astoria, Queens on October 22nd from 3 to 5 and on October 23rd from 12 to 7. Now, they are available on a first-come, first-served basis, though an in-person wait list is also an option. Each person who makes a reservation will be able to customize their own pizza, choosing from the new toppings Pizza Hut debuted over the summer, like pesto swirl, chicken sausage, fresh diced garlic, and caramelized onion. Pizza Hut says the booth is the first and smallest reservation-only dine-in, personalized restaurant experience it has created, which it did to celebrate National Pizza Month.
So it's just for one? I can't squeeze a plus one in there with me?
You could sit two in love in there, I guarantee you.
I haven't had pizza in a long time.
I haven't either, Lance, but there was a location in Jacksonville, Alabama in the 90s when I was in school at Jack State, and they did the lunch buffet. And if we had enough money, the lunch buffet was pretty high end for us for lunch. We would go to the lunch buffet and dominate it.
What? Wasn't pretty high end for you.
Jim, do you know how little money I had in college? I mean, my parents didn't
college.
Yeah,
Okay.
I was telling the boys last
My parents
night.
didn't put me on a salary.
Right there on 15th, there was a Checkers. And when I was a freshman in college, I would scrape up $2.12 and get 2 Checkers burgers and a water.
Yeah. That place was New Times in Jacksonville, 3 burgers for $1. So I can't tell you how many times I went through the New Times drive-thru, got 3 cheeseburgers for $1, and asked them for a water as well. I mean,
Things are so much more expensive now. All we had was Cookout. That was
Well,
probably
Cookout,
the closest thing.
Cookout's
but
pretty cheap.
You can get a lot of value at Cookout.
Yeah, you get a lot of food for Cookout now. It's the most anxiety-filled ordering process I have ever seen in my life. Their menu,
they got a lot of stuff.
It's so complicated. I still can't figure it out.
It's the Cheesecake Factory of fast food.
It really is.
I've only gone to one. It was when Taylor and I were at SEC basketball. My hotel was across the street from one, and it was one of the nights I thought was our getaway day, but Auburn won again, so we stayed another night. So I'm walking back to my hotel from the arena, and there's a Cookout, and I'm hungry, and I walk over there, and I'm like,
I like Cookout.
Yeah, and I think I got, is this possible? I think I got a corn dog, a hot dog, and a hamburger.
That is entirely possible. You can go double cheeseburger, quesadilla, and
taco.
Some hush
Yeah,
puppies.
I mean, anything can be a side
And it's
dish.
all
Yeah.
fresh, like farm-to-table food, right?
It is not. It is not.
Shelf back in the back.
By the time I got to the hotel, I was like, God, is this hot
You
dog
already
even
shit down your leg.
Is this hot dog even cooked?
Is this hot dog even cooked?
It's still cold in the middle.
Britney Spears back in the news. Do you have video?
What's
just pictures?
What is Britney doing with her
She
life?
is celebrating self-love in her latest social media post. Now,
Ooh, self-love.
on October 20th, the
Oh,
musician,
my.
42,
Not that kind, Jim.
shared a video on Instagram of herself in a wedding dress and told her fans that she,
You
quote,
don't know that.
has married herself.
Yeah, she's crazy, but man, that one on the left, I like the Britney on the right did better than the Britney on the left. Wouldn't you think?
Well, I mean, the one on the left, I mean, her right titty's running from her.
That is correct.
What's happened
I don't
here?
know.
She looks like, it's almost like a Halloween bride.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would say in this couple, Britney on the right got a worse deal than Britney on the left. Britney on the left married up, Britney on the right married down.
So you still think I can't find 20 girls at Floribama that look better than her?
I mean,
you
look,
said that 20 years ago.
Yeah, you really
It was
did.
not. It was this platform with Floribama as a sponsor.
That is horse crap.
It
Dunaway.
was at Jocks 100%.
You said, and I think you said Talladega Speedway too. You didn't say the Floribama.
It was the Floribama.
And you
it
can't
was
find
those are two
one.
platforms.
You
Different
still
takes
can't
depending
find
on
one
when-
at Talladega
when
that looks better than
I
Dooley.
can too.
No,
I can too.
Whatever.
I can too. If she started singing Landslide right now, would that not fit?
You say a little Stevie Nicks?
Yeah, a little bit.
No, you said that back in our radio
Yeah, you
days
did.
that there are 20 people. No, here's how I
Yeah, and there
remember
were
it.
still some strong videos. Even when she was crazy, there was some still strong videos that she was putting out.
I remember it because she had that house down in Destin. And you're like, guys, I could find 20 people in Destin that look better than her.
Oh, I still can. I don't care when I said
At
it.
the
I'll
time.
stand by it. And the Southern women are undefeated. I can find 20.
She's Southern.
She
She's
is
from
Southern, I
Louisiana.
know. But there are 20 people better looking than
You
Britney
didn't go
Spears.
to
Any year I can find 20
There was
people
not
better.
one girl at your Thompson High School that looked better than her
In her
prime.
prime.
Zero
Prime.
chance.
Lance and I were talking
Zero
about in her
chance.
prime.
In her prime, I'm not going to get into it, but
Lance,
on behalf of Babby Hocutt and Cindy, Susan Allen, I'm offended.
I remember Lance saying, Dunaway, go back to the python around the neck. That is her prime. Did you not say that?
Yeah, that or the oops, I did it again in the little red suit.
And he
I
said,
think we got to wait till she's at least 18, guys.
I think she could legally drink it. Oops, I did it again. I think. I don't know.
Not
Anyway, back to the story. The day I married myself, bringing it back because it might seem embarrassing or stupid, but I think it's the most brilliant thing I've ever done. Now, the hitmaker then shared another video of herself wearing a white silk mini dress and white rimmed sunglasses set to the tune of Sheryl Crow's Run, Baby, Run. She flipped her hair, spun around, danced while seemingly on a private plane in the clip. She captioned the Instagram post, quote, Turks and Caicos, here I come.
Oh, so she's taking herself on a honeymoon.
Yeah. That's a big honeymoon, though, Turks and Caicos.
So my suggestion's back in playtime.
I wonder what a conversation with her is like.
Probably a winding road.
Probably crowded.
Yeah.
A lot of voices in that head. This would be a good
So, North Dakota woman was sentenced for poisoning her boyfriend after believing he had inherited $30 million.
That's a big Cowboys
It's true
fan.
love right here.
Yep.
Ina Knoer, 48, sentenced to 50
I don't know her, Lance.
years. First serve 25. That means she'll serve 25 years in prison with the remaining 25 balance suspended. Prosecutors say that 48-year-old Ina Knoer poisoned Stephen Riley, that you see right there, with antifreeze on the false belief that she would inherit part of the multi-million-dollar inheritance. Do you really think he's got her as like the beneficiary? Do you think he's even got a will set up?
Yeah, exactly.
No. I mean, if he did win, my goodness, I'd just write it out. It doesn't make sense.
Now, after receiving news, the couple met with a state lawyer. Okay, let me take this back. On September 3rd, 2023, that day, Riley became ill. Boy, she did not wait around. With paramedics arriving at his house the next day to find him unresponsive.
Hey, we got to sign these papers. Drink this.
Drink this.
Let's celebrate by antifreeze. He was declared dead September 5th. Investigators,
died?
Yeah,
Oh, I
later
thought he had
learned that
lived.
the
I'm
inheritance likely didn't exist at all. Ryan Riley, the victim's 21-year-old son, told the Post that the couple had actually fallen victim to an online scam and there was never any money.
So, scam, she thought he won $30 million, complete scam, and she killed him over it.
Yep.
And finds out it's a scam.
And now she gets to do 25 years.
Yep.
I don't think she's got anybody. She's not going to worry. Aliceville would not chase her down.
Probably no. I'm going to say no on this one. I will also say, my brother once ingested antifreeze. You, I think, have to drink a significant amount as a grown adult to die.
A lot of dogs have done it.
Yeah, well, but they're smaller, a lot less going on there. But I think as a grown adult, you have to ingest a significant amount of antifreeze to die. So, and I don't think it tastes good. My brother said it tasted awful. He spit it out after he took one big gulp.
Here's something that came out in the trial. Stephanie Gonzalez, Riley's sister, said that Knoer stole more than just a human life. Quote, "You stole my son from his mother, stepfather. Yeah. You stole a father from 5 sons, brother from 2 sisters, an uncle from 12 nieces and nephews, and a great uncle to aunt and to 8 and many friends. How does it feel to have taken so much for absolutely nothing?" Yep. Think this prepared statement?
And also one viewer from Get Up. Because they talk about the Cowboys all the time.
See you and Bob for the MyBookie.ag chat room says he doesn't have to see how bad the Cowboys are this year. Yeah. It's the upside.
That is very true.
Yeah. And he doesn't have to wake up next to her anymore.
Wow. She's going to have a new partner waking up next to her there, Jimmy D. I mean, I don't think there'll be a long line in the prison, Lance, for her, but everybody meets their breaking point at some point.
That she may be able to bake those biscuits.
I'm telling you, man, last woman on Earth. She's fine.
Yeah, I don't think we repopulate the planet at that point. I think we say, guys, this has been a good run. Yep. Several million years. Let's go.
Watch the sunset.
Yeah. That's true.
Everything comes to an end, right?
Yep, at some point.
Hey, if you're looking for a new home, our friends at Mortgage Right here to help. Whether you're a first-time buyer or seasoned home buying veteran, their great service and rates make the process so easy. So remember, whether you're looking for your final home, first home, whether you have a big down payment or need 100% financing, Mortgage Right, one-stop shop. Visit them online, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200, NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
By the way, the firing season has already started. The most recent, Travis Trickett, friend of the show, Travis Trickett, I think.
Why is he a friend of the show?
I think he was he not one of the Tricketts that was here at Sanford and listened to our show at one point?
Potentially, but I don't know that he's ever been on it. I normally reserve friend of the show for people that have been on there.
Yeah, Coastal Carolina offensive coordinator fired yesterday. Oklahoma over the weekend Sunday got rid of Seth Littrell. We talked about that yesterday on the show. Andy Ludwig stepped down at Utah. Southern Miss fires Will Hall. Bill Clark, number one name to talk to replace him.
Boy,
Bill
UAB
Clark.
fans are going to love that if Clark's willing to come back and coach Southern Miss and they're stuck with Trent Dilfer.
Well, I mean, would you not, if you're UAB, just bounce Dilfer and try to bring Clark back?
I don't think.
I mean, how bad was that departure?
I don't think it was bad on his part. I just don't. I think there are probably still people at UAB Clark would not want to work with or for. You would have to address that, I'm sure, to get him back.
The other name being mentioned at Southern Miss, according to Bruce Feldman, Skip Holtz.
Well, you know, Skip sat in your chair right there. You were out this day, so you don't remember this, but he sat in your chair right there, and we asked him about coaching in college again, and he essentially said, in the construct of college football, I don't have any interest.
Yep.
I'd rather
I think
just
he's
coach.
really happy.
Yeah.
He looks like he's done a good job saving his money, making enough coin here in Birmingham to survive.
The other one I saw mentioned is Patrick Surtain. Not the one obviously playing in the NFL, but his dad, who is, I think, DB's coach at Florida State right now.
Yeah.
He was a high school football coach when Pat Surtain Jr. came through and went to Alabama, and he's in the college ranks now. But if you remember, he played at Southern Miss.
That
would help recruiting.
Yeah.
Better job than Louisiana Monroe. Bryant Vincent and Louisiana Monroe popped him. Why would you not take a look at him?
So you would just move him over to Southern Miss?
Would you leave ULM for Southern Miss?
Yeah, that's a better job.
ULM may be the worst job.
Used to be for sure.
I think Southern Miss is much better job.
Well, I don't think either
for sure.
I don't think either of them are great.
Yeah, I'm just talking about where do you want to live, Hattiesburg or Monroe?
Oh, Hattiesburg.
Or that lady we just saw in trash.
I mean,
Not
Monroe.
in that cell, for sure.
Monroe is interesting.
East doesn't Monroe have? Where did we stop and have?
That's Monroe.
That was Monroe, and I went to the Applebee's because
No.
I was
Where
trying
did we
to
stop and have the old Superior?
Oh, that's Shreveport.
That's Shreveport.
Shreveport,
Yeah, Monroe was where we couldn't find a Chick-fil-A for breakfast.
Yeah.
When Chick-fil-A says, I tell you what, we're going to pass, you know you're in a rough place.
Well, it was interesting. I don't know if you noticed that Applebee's, all the lights were off, but they said it was open until 10 o'clock.
Yeah, people were bringing food.
No, they were going through a drive-through.
Don't you remember somebody walked in our hotel with a bottle of liquor? And I think you asked where they got it. They said, oh, Applebee's?
Yeah.
Don't you remember that?
Yeah, they sold it at I asked, where'd you get the liquor?
But
Where'd you
went
get the
back
liquor?
over there to get a beer, and they were like, we can't serve beer, but they were like giving things out through the drive-through. It was
Apparently
very weird.
liquor.
Yeah. By the way, East Carolina fired Mike Houston. How much money do you think ECU pays their head coach?
I would say Mike Houston was making
$850.
No, I'm going to go lower than that. $625,000.
He was making $2.3 million a year.
What?
Yeah.
At East Carolina?
Pictures on the Chancellor?
I don't know.
Well, no, he got fired. East Carolina, $2.3 million?
$2.3 million a year.
That used to be a decent little program. Before Ruffin McNeil, they had a coach that had.
I know we're about to hear from the greatest to ever do it.
Yeah.
But I remember when he got bumped to $2 million at LSU, and that was a big deal.
Oh, and he took $4 million at Alabama. It was the end of amateur athletics, and now East Carolina's paying $2.3.
Nick Saban down there yesterday at the Monday Morning Quarterback Club. We won't bore you with what he said. He's a fan now and trying to fix Alabama. He does give his commentary about College Game Day. Emily Grace McWhorter down there for us, talking to the GOAT about his new gig on game day.
Nick, what is the most fun about working on game day for you?
Sitting by Pat McAfee, being able to make no consequence picks. I might be the worst picker in the history of ball. I mean, when Miss Terry just completely kicks my ass on game day in front of the whole world. I mean, how bad is that?
Do you still hear about that at home?
Oh, you better believe it.
Yeah, it's good to see Nick smiling, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Did you see Sark? So, you were on the road. They had Sark on the set. It's that set where they go stand in front of the thing and they show plays and everybody's got the pointer stick. And Sark said some nice things about Saban, and it's like, I have never seen this guy smile this much. I don't know what y'all have done to him, but I have never in my life seen him smile this much.
I think he's excited because he knows he made the right decision.
Yeah.
Because I think he looks around college football, and it has changed so much, and now he still gets to be around it. He gets to talk to his former coaches, like Kirk Cignetti. I mean, how much is he going to hype up Cignetti this week in Bloomington?
Yeah. That it's my guy.
Yeah, and he makes incredible money, and he just doesn't have the pressure and all the bullshit that he had to deal with in the past.
It's remarkable. I mean, you just look at the landscape of college football and how many of his former assistants are a player in the game right now. I mean, just look at it. You got Kirby at Georgia.
Well, I mean, start at the top. Oregon, number 1, Lanning was there.
That's what I was about to say. Dan Lanning at Oregon.
Georgia.
Kirby.
Not Penn State, Ohio State. Texas,
you got Sark.
Miami,
you got Mario Cristobal.
Tennessee, no.
Nope.
LSU, no.
Nope.
Clemson, no.
Nope.
But they're friends. Iowa State, no. BYU, no. Notre Dame, no.
Unfortunately, they're going to have to go too far down to Indiana. But there's another one with Cignetti. I mean, what's Indiana ranked right now?
Ole Miss is still there. Indiana's 13th.
13. So that's 5 of the top 13 head coaches were an assistant for Nick Saban at one point.
Ole Miss is 18.
Yep.
Pitt's got a Bama quarterback.
Well, I'm not counting that. I'm just counting the coaches that are impacting college football right now. I mean, it's pretty crazy. You know, his assistants, it used to be an argument they're successful, not successful. I don't know. Has anybody ever, because you also look at the Napiers and people like that. But, boy, at this moment, this snapshot, his assistants are having a massive impact.
But I agree with you guys. Napier's turned it around to where I would not fire him no matter what happens the rest of the year.
That's going to be easy to say now until he loses 5 straight if that happens.
Yeah, but if that happens, I mean, you got to stick with him and let him try to work his way out, get a good quarterback and see what happens. I mean, this firing stuff.
Well, it helps him a lot if Lagway continues his improved play because that gives you promise for next year.
Yeah. All right, that's our show today. We appreciate you guys so much for being with us every day on the platform at Next Round Live, social media, YouTube if you're watching, thumbs up. But like and subscribe everywhere. I mean, content goes out from TikTok, it goes out from Instagram, Twitter, always on YouTube. Make sure you like and subscribe. Forrester and Taylor are sending stuff out all day long, and you can enjoy it at your convenience. We're back with you tomorrow at 9 a.m. Central Time. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.